All the way from Providence, Rhode Island, welcome to Outlander Cast. It's a podcast dedicated to the show Outlander on Stars.
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone, sacred that lass be I. Mary of soul, she sailed on a day over the sea to Skye.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. My name is Mary Larson.
My name is Blake.
And, you know what I was thinking?
What's that?
While I messed up. I was thinking that this is a show dedicated to listeners who like Outlander on Stars.
Uh-huh.
Because I was thinking about it, and I was like, we're not really like dedicating this to you, to Outlander on Stars.
Okay.
It's about the show Outlander on Stars. We talk about it.
Yes.
But like, really, it's about the people who listen to this podcast because this is listener feedback. And so it just kind of like, I kind of went through this whole deep thought process.
Right at the perfect time.
Right at the perfect time. And my brain was like, is this episode dedicated to Outlander on Stars, Mary? Is it really?
Is it really, Mary?
The answer is no. It is dedicated to you.
Oh, man. That's funny.
Yeah.
So my name is Blake.
I know. You
Like
just
I
said that.
Did I really?
Yeah.
So listen, we're all kinds of messed up. You want to know why? Because I decided, in my brilliant way I do, to redo our entire studio.
Was that in air quotes? Brilliant.
Yeah. So our studio is 100% different. Brand new equipment, brand new setup. The whole thing is completely overturned.
It's not all put together. Basically, Blake went through and found like equipment that we don't use and went on this selling rampage and then buying different stuff and just wanted to kind of modernize things. But
technology has changed over the past 10
has.
years. And, you know, the last time we had a studio update was, 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's time for a fresh start here, you know? And
Yeah.
so if we sound a little different, if things don't operate as well for this first episode, blame it on me. Because, I decided to just change
we're just
everything.
thrown off. So this, of course, is listener feedback, part 2 for the finale of season 7.
Yes.
And we are so excited to delve into more of your feedback. Of course, there was so much feedback about this finale that we had to break this episode into 2 different episodes because it was that much.
Yeah. The amount of listener feedback we had was banana land. And that's great. Like that's
in a great way, exactly.
Yeah, that's the best part.
And
right?
rather than cut a lot of it, you know, we just decided like, hey, we've got nothing but time because it's Droughtlander, baby.
Yeah, sure.
So let's do it.
All right. So are you ready to get into the episode, my love?
Yes, I am.
All right. Let's do that. And okay, here we go. All right, so we're going to start off where we left off, and this will be an email from Charlotte Marks. Charlotte says, "Hey, Mary and Blake, regarding your Outlander 716 podcast, geez, Blake, you reminded me why I stopped listening to Boston sports radio years ago." Oh, and she puts this in air quotes, all caps. "Oh my God, the Celtics lost 2 in a row. It's a disaster. They'll never win another title." I mean, seriously, do you actually think they introduced the faith angle willy-nilly? Or that it will be the only story next season? Come on, let it play out before making assumptions of doom. You know what?
Charlotte,
fair assessment. Largely because I get a lot of or at least my inspiration from Boston sports radio.
No.
I've been listening to WEEI and 98.5 The Sports Hub since I was probably 10, beginning with my dad, and now I'm making my kids listen to it. So, yeah, I think it's fair that you make that comparison. It is apropos. Am I like saying like, oh, this is the worst thing ever? I don't think so. I think that they've made some poor choices, and we'll see how it goes. But like they say on sports radio here, this is a talk show. We come here, we express our opinions, and we can only go by what we see, right, Marvin?
That's right.
And what we see is, and at least what I see so far is not great, Bob.
I think it's great, and you just have to have, gotta have faith, the faith, the faith. What else did Charlotte say?
Let's see. She says, anyway, what I really wanted to comment on was a topic on which you just missed the mark. Why William wanted to save Jane. As you noted, he didn't say he loved her. The key clue is in his final scene with Jamie when he asks about his mother. Jamie says Geneva was bold, courageous, and strong. Everything Jane was. William is trying to save Jane because he couldn't save his mother. Worse, don't you think that deep down, part of him blames himself for her death? And that Jamie's final comment, looking at him and saying he wasn't sorry, hit that nerve. Sláinte, Charlotte from Springfield, Massachusetts.
Yay!
All right. Marvin, what are your thoughts?
She's talking to you. She's talking to you, Blake.
Okay, fair. Well, first,
Your cousin from Boston.
you're welcome. Well, here's the thing, Charlotte. Do I think that plays a part in it? Sure. I'll go along to get along with that. But, I mean, let's also not forget the fact that he did sleep with her. Right? Like, that
happened.
that's a thing.
That did happen.
It doesn't mean that he,
Doesn't want to save her.
it doesn't mean that he wants to bang his mom, but that did happen. He did sleep with Jane. And whether or not he says he loved her, that doesn't mean that he's not fond or affectionate or, we've been watching a lot of Love is Blind lately, Mary. And, there is a difference between love and infatuation and having mommy or daddy issues. Fair?
Fair.
Just because you don't say you love somebody doesn't mean that you actually not have feelings for them. So, I don't know. I think there is a difference. And but I also am willing to go along to get along in terms of him wanting to save his mother. But I think that they can interact. Well, I think the two ideas can commingle, but I don't think they're mutually exclusive. If you know what I mean. Okay. All right, the next one. She also says, does anyone besides me think Claire's reaction to Fanny's singing Beside the Seaside could be freaking Fanny out a bit? Mary.
100%. I'd be like, lady, I just met you.
Yeah.
You gave me porridge, which I'm grateful for because I love snacks. But I don't know you. I don't know you.
Right.
I barely know William. And to be honest, he's kind of a letdown. He told us he was going to protect us. Yeah, failed at that.
Not great, Bob.
Then you tell me, I'm going to bring you so you could see your dead sister's grave. You can't find it. Just made me feel worse.
Right.
Thanks a lot. And then I just try to pacify myself by singing a little ditty that makes me feel better. And you make it all about you. And you freak out. And you're like acting all weird. I'm in a lot of issues right now. And these weird people who want to take me away, freaking out about my song. Golly. Maybe I need to rethink my choices.
It's just a song.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I don't know.
It'd be like you singing I don't know, Rockabye Baby. And you're like, oh, you know what? This is a thing that my mom used to sing me to make me feel better about myself. And this lady just came up to you and was like, where did you get that song? Yeah. It's like Batman versus Superman.
Yes.
Why did you say that name?
So yes, I think if I was Fanny, I'd be thinking twice about these people. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be thinking about my options.
I could totally see Katrina. Oh, I'm sorry. I could totally see Claire as Batman.
Oh, nice.
Why did you say that name?
I mean, granted, she doesn't really have many options right now, but I would be finding options. If it was Little Mary instead of Little Fanny, I'd be sitting there being like, you know what?
You know what? I don't think we're good with this.
I don't know how I feel about these crazy people. Unless the porridge was really good.
I know. And then that's a big
Oh,
maybe.
then I'll stay with you for your food.
All right, you ready for some voicemail, my love? All right, here we go.
Appreciation message. You guys, this is just an appreciation message. I just realized that my previous voice message I sent for, I think it was episode 13, didn't come through. So the mystery behind my voice never was solved. So let me tell you, I am from Mexico.
All
I
right.
live
Yay.
in Scotland. I've been living in the UK for almost 15 years now. And I just wanted to tell you that I really love your shows.
Oh, thanks.
They really bring up a lot of light in my life. I love Diana Gabaldon. So yeah, I just want to tell you thank you. I was in the US for a month between December and January.
Oh.
And it was really funny because I was there and I was telling my friend who I went to visit in West Virginia, I was like, are we close to where Mary and Blake are? She was like, no, that's on the other side. All right, then. So I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll bump into them at Trader Joe. But anyway,
Yeah.
just wanted to say thank you for what you do. You
Go
are
to
really
Trader Joe's.
an inspiration. And anyway, hopefully we'll see you around in the next podcast for the next series, whichever this one is. Thank you so much. Bye.
Oh, well, thank you, Blanca.
Thanks, Bianca.
Blanca.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Blanca.
She's reading it. She's trying to read it off my
I
screen.
am. Thank you, Blanca. Thank you so much. And apologies that we couldn't bump into each other in Trader Joe's.
Yes, that was unfortunate. But luckily, Trader Joe's guy is not there. So
You never know.
I
told him not to give up.
Hopefully he did.
I hope not, Blake.
Trying to ask people, would you like to dance with? Get out of here, guy.
In Trader Joe's frozen aisle?
Yeah.
Yes. On a Sunday morning?
Sounds great.
That's like the beginning of like a TV series that I would love.
Right. You'd be watching it on Netflix.
Yep.
Guilt watching it. And then I'd get sucked in. And
Love on the Spectrum meets Love on the...
Love at the Market.
with the weird musical loving.
No, that's what it should be called. Love at the Market.
Love at the Market.
But it's got to be spelled M-A-H.
Love at the Market. I love it.
Let's do the next voicemail.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Sharon calling from Chicago.
Hi, Sharon.
Sharon.
I am calling about the season finale of season 7, and I am going to give this a very strange kilt rating because I'm not sure if I loved this or I was like, I don't know if I love this. So I'm going to go from 4.5 kilts to 4.8 kilts. So first of all, my good. The acting was phenomenal. And I think it's so wonderful that Ian has a person of his own to love instead of tagging along with everybody else.
Yep.
For example, when Rolo died, he had Rachel there with him, and she said the sweetest things. And I recently lost my heart and soul dog as suddenly. And I think I made the same noise that Ian did. And it just brought tears to my eyes. So there was all the feels with those two. Cinematography and lighting was pure Outlander magic. And for the most part, I enjoyed the writing and the pacing. So my meh has always been William. He is so whiny and privileged and ungrateful. He gets bailed out again and again, and everyone was so nice to him. And I know people like that, and it makes me seethe. He's a bit like Bree was in the beginning, so just very one note and not likable at all. I know he has his own storyline with Jane, but I don't know. I just can't get warm up to that guy. So what took me to being like, do I love this? Do I not love this? Is the thing about Faith, saying that Faith lived. Well, I have so many questions about that. Did they do this just for shock value? Because I don't remember this being canonical material, which is fine, as the show is the show and the books are the books. But I don't think I can suspend my disbelief about this one. I didn't feel like it was a cliffhanger because I didn't really care about it. So I'm just wondering, why do we need this storyline heading into the final season? If Faith lived, well, now she's dead. And how could she have lived? Claire was holding a baby that was dead. So I don't know. there's just so many questions, and I just don't know if I can suspend my disbelief. But overall, I think this was a great season, and I just love listening to you guys laugh with each other, and it just makes my heart warm. So thanks for doing such a great job, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thank
Aw,
you, Sharon.
thanks, Sharon.
That's very kind
You know,
of you.
we don't know. And that's it. We hear you. And that's why there's so much confusion and differences of opinions when it comes to this finale. It's like this Faith situation is a massive shock, but we're going into the final season.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like we're midway through a show and they're just like, oh, we got some time. Let's do some crazy stuff. Like, no, we don't have time. So we're all in this together, book readers, show watchers alike. And I can appreciate that this is what gives you hesitancy about rating it super high.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's been some time, Mary, since the Faith thing. And I think I said this, last episode. I'm still having a hard time getting over it, to be honest. I don't think I can. I'm having a hard time, like, accepting that it's part of the show.
You're having a hard time having faith?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
All right, let's do the next voicemail.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Alex. I'm a first-time caller, long-time listener. And I wanted to rate the episode 7.16, 100,000 Angels. I'm going to give it a 4.8 out of 5 kilts. My good was I love the tie back to the second season with Faith and Master Raymond, and it broke my heart to see him again. And I really loved the relationship with Jamie and Claire, strong again. And the interaction between Jamie, Lord John, and Claire, hilarious. My bad was I felt like the storyline with Brianna and Roger just kind of wrapped up really quickly. And I feel like I was so invested in like the beginning of season 7, but not as much to the end. Also, this is just a bad, just in general for me personally. The minute I saw young Ian wake up after being told that his wife was pregnant to his dog, to poor Rolo, I literally lost it. But I just want to say that I love you guys. I love Outlander. It's one of my go-to happy shows. And thank you for everything from what you do. Also, by the way, I'm from New Hampshire, but I live in Connecticut. Thank you. Bye.
That's okay.
How to take one good thing and ruin it real quick.
No. Oh, God.
New Hampshire is the best state in the union. Connecticut, unfortunately, is on the other side of that.
God.
Mary knows that. Mary knows my obsession with New Hampshire.
I do.
Actually, she's wearing a New Hampshire sweatshirt right now.
I'm wearing a Santa's Village sweatshirt.
Well,
it's very different.
And where's that from?
It's in New Hampshire.
Exactly.
But like,
All the best things
listen,
are in New
man,
Hampshire.
I'm just including Santa, I guess.
Except me. I'm in Rhode Island.
Oh my God.
Hey guys, my name is Maggie. I'll tell you where I'm from later because I love this accent game. I'm a longtime listener. I've been listening since 2022. First and foremost, I'm a book reader. I'm here for...
Okay, she sounds like she's from New York.
Yeah, she's East Coast for
she's
sure.
She's definitely East Coast. I'm going to go with either New York, New Jersey, or there's like a slight Boston in there.
Yeah.
But it sounds more southern.
We need to hear a little bit more.
Yeah, all right, here we go.
the books. I'm here for my people. I'm here for the relationships, the characters. You know, I just feel like I'm hanging out with my friends when I watch the show. And I feel like
it's New York, New Jersey. Yeah.
Yeah. The way that it it's got that it's got that slight arrogance to it.
Says the guy from the Boston area.
Exactly.
Okay,
that's why I can make that joke.
This is the problem. When I'm trying to listen to their accents, I don't hear what they're saying as much. So if you can rewind for a hot second.
Yeah, sure. Hold on. Let's rewind. Here we go.
I'll tell you where from later because I love this accent game. Hey guys, my name is Maggie. I'll tell you where from later because I love this accent game. I'm a longtime listener.
She's a longtime listener. Okay, sorry.
Been listening since 2022. First and foremost, I'm a book reader. I'm here for the books. I'm here for my people. I'm here for the relationships, the characters. I just feel like I'm hanging out with my friends when I watch the show. And I feel like that makes me, though, incapable of like truly watching the show with an unbiased lens. And I'm curious, like, how can you be a show watcher only and not a book reader? Okay. Anyway, here I am. My good. We're going back to the Ridge, baby. We're going back to the Ridge and everybody's coming. We got Fanny. Now we got a tie between William and Jamie. Great. I love it. My bad. I know it's been said before, but Brianna's hair is atrocious. I mean, it completely took me out of the moment. I'm here for the characters and the reunions. I'm like, here I am with Brian Fraser. What could be better? Oh, this girl who has a terrible American accent and terrible hair. This girl's not from the 1700s. I'm out of it. I'm done. My great Madonna. When you hear that and you know you're going to be freaking reunited with Master Raymond, it is the best. I live for that. I live for that moment when Lord John comes to Claire. That moment. Obviously last week's montage. Jamie quoting Murtaugh this episode. I love it. I'm here for all that. Where am I from? I'm from Queens, New York City.
Boom.
I love you guys. Quickly, I just wanted to say what's interesting is that I didn't know about Charles Lee. The only Lee I think about in terms of an American war is Robert E. Lee. So it's a big difference between New England and tri-state area. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Wow.
Look at that.
Look at that.
I mean, we're so close.
Yeah. You
Queens,
would think.
Well, Queens from here is like 3.5 hours.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, people drive in their own states and they're still in the same state 3.5 hours. So for Rhode Island to Queens, New York, the education being so different, that is awesome.
Yeah, I was
well done. High five.
High five, totally. I was driving our daughter somewhere today, and I just happened to notice, and actually this got me thinking about all of this, and I just happened to look, the Nathaniel Green homestead. Oh, there's the sign for it.
Here. Yeah.
Like, like that's just the
norm.
thing.
You know what I was thinking about when we were listening to her accent?
What?
I knew, not only did I feel like she was in the New York, New Jersey area, but I was like, I think she's in one of the boroughs, like the main areas of New York
like that's
City.
like real New York.
Yeah. And you want to know why?
Why?
I just kept thinking about the Newsies accents. Brooklyn, see ya, never fear.
Selling those peeps.
Yeah. And she definitely had one of the Newsies accents.
She's from Queens, so don't go,
No, I know she's not Brooklyn. I'm just saying that, like, Queens, yeah. And I bet you if you're a true New Yorker, you can even tell the differences in the accents between Queens and Brooklyn. Just like here in Rhode Island, people can tell where I was from because of my accent. From which city I was from in Rhode Island, they could tell.
They can do the same thing in Massachusetts.
Yes.
So I wonder if she's a Mets fan, because if she is, I'm sorry. And I wonder if she's a Spider-Man fan, because that's where technically Spider-Man's from. Peter Parker's from Queens. All right, let's do the next one.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Jennifer, and I'm a first-time caller but long-time listener, probably since 2018 or 2019.
Whoa.
You can probably tell from my accent I'm not from the North, but Blake, I love the city of Boston. First quick take, Fanny. My immediate thought was, she looks like she could totally be the love child of Marceline and Stephen Bonnet. Am I crazy? Does anyone else see it? Second take, Faith. At first I was all, let's get weird, bring it. But as time has gone on and I'm still processing it, I don't know what to think. I think the writers could do it justice or they could monumentally screw it up. Moving on. My kilt rating's a 4.85. I love this episode and it's in my top 10, maybe my top 5.
Wow.
My good. The episode was beautiful. The lighting of Claire in the church and when Denzel approaches like he's her angel/savior, gorgeous. Jane at the window, Master Raymond's appearance, there's so many others, but it was a visual masterpiece. My bad. The scene with Brian and Bree. I'm not a Bree hater, but I felt the actor playing Brian was bringing it, and I got nothing from Bree. An episode that's so strong with the relationships, this one felt flat. My great leads me to the relationships. They were on fire. Lord John and William, Ian and Rolo, Buck and the fun Mackenzie group hug, Lord John, Claire, Jamie's moment, Denzel and Claire's moment, William's scenes with Jamie and as he finds Jane were perfect. Thanks so much, you guys. You're my absolute favorite podcasters, and I have to tell you, I'm a school counselor, and I've taken some of your advice to share with my students and colleagues. You guys are awesome. Thanks again from South Carolina.
Oh, my God. Do you want to freaking know something?
What's that?
That's where I was going to say she was from.
Get out of here.
Swear
No,
to
you can't
God.
go saying that.
No. Okay, so who lies? Who lies here, friends?
I'm not saying that you're lying. I'm just saying
swear to
it sounds a little convenient. I'm
No,
not going to lie.
Because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, all right. She's got a little bit, but it's not a lot. And I was thinking like the cutoff is South Carolina. Like North Carolina and Virginia, Virginia has a little bit more, but like North Carolina doesn't really have too much. Virginia's got some funky stuff going on, but South Carolina starts the southern lilt situation, but it wasn't deep enough of like Louisiana, Alabama.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't anything like that. It wasn't the like funky monkiness of Florida, because Florida, they've got a whole bunch of weird things going on. They don't even know, because most of the people in Florida aren't from Florida.
Florida's wild.
It wasn't Georgia, and so I was like, it's a cusp accent state, and I was like, I think this is South Carolina, because South Carolina is also classy.
Yeah, sure.
They've got like a classiness to it, without the like, and I say that lovingly, because we're from like terrible accent land. You know what I mean? Where it's like "pak ya ka." That's us.
Yeah.
But like there's some where it's like, y'all come on over, but you know, whatever, and you're just like, I don't even know.
Piggy.
I don't even. What's that? What is that?
It's from the movie Deliverance. Never mind.
But what I'm saying is that there's like real stereotypical accents that happen like a lot more south that are depicted in movies, or you just hear it a lot. But it was just like just a little bit, and I felt like she's someone who has like sun tea, and you go over her house and she's like, do you want to have a little bit of my lemon cake that I made you with my sun tea, but has like that little southern accent?
Wouldn't it technically be sweet tea at that point?
You can make your sun tea sweet.
Well, but sun tea is different than sweet tea.
Sweet tea is sweet, but you can make so it could be generally you sweeten your sun tea. Some people don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
we sweetened our sun tea growing up.
Yeah, but
you don't even know what sun tea is, because you didn't make it.
I do know what sun tea is.
Did you ever make sun tea?
No, get out of here.
I know you didn't.
No, we don't
just
do that. That's why we pay people.
I know you did. Oh my goodness.
We didn't make sun tea like you pause.
We know, Blake. We know.
Hey, Jeeves, why don't you go over there and make me some tea?
Oh my God. The way you would talk about what is the course that would cleanse your palate?
Huh?
Didn't you talk about how like some of your fancy meals that you would have with your parents, you would have like a cleansing thing that would like you'd eat in between courses?
Oh, yeah.
What's that called?
Absolutely. No, it's a palate cleanser.
We were just excited to have a part 2 of a dinner. There's more?
Oh, man.
You see how my mom cooks now? She's like, I'm making shish kebabs, and each of us gets like half of one.
Half. Definitely.
She doesn't need to cook that little food anymore.
There's 2 pieces of chicken on it.
She can afford more food now, but she still cooks for us.
If she ever says, hey, I'm making dinner tonight, first of all, I'm very thankful.
We're very thankful.
Always
for
very, very,
cooking.
very thankful.
Yes.
So don't ever take it that I'm not. But we know that if she's cooking for 4, it's actually a meal for 2.
It's like the Mickey Mouse Christmas Carol when Mickey has the 1 pea and he has to slice it to feed his entire family, and they're all licking their lips. Little Tiny Tim.
Oh my God.
I used to look at that and be like, I know that pain.
Tim.
I know that pain, fake Mickey Tiny Tim. I know that.
But in this case, it's not a pea, it's a lentil.
Yeah, even worse. Welcome to my life.
All right, let's do the next one.
So needless to say, our most recent caller, I was just picturing that. I bet you she's a very nice hostess. I was picturing South Carolina.
You're going to have to let us know.
And you can tell me that you think I was lying, but I swear to God, that was going to be the state I was going to say.
Jen, you're going to have to let us know if you're a sweet tea girl or if you're a sun tea girl.
You can still make sun tea sweet.
No, but like there's a difference.
Or
like,
lemonade.
Sweet tea is a thing.
That's why I'm feeling like she does some lemon situation, because I feel like she'd make me a lemon cake.
Do you know that I actually never heard of sun tea until you told me about it?
I know, Blake. I know this.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, who leaves tea out in the sun for like that long? It's like ridiculous.
Oh my God, it's okay. I love you. Next caller.
Something called serve safe.
That's what we just ring our little bell for, so Jeeves can come bring it. And you want to know why, Blake?
Why?
Because we didn't want to like buy the sugared, overpriced made tea.
Sure.
And we also didn't have air conditioning and didn't want to waste electricity to run the fan, so we didn't want to boil water.
Wait, you didn't have air conditioning?
No, Blake.
Oh my God.
We did not have it.
Oh my God.
So, and if you cooked things on the stove, like if you wanted pasta, it couldn't be a hot day because then your house is going to be even hotter.
Oh, no way.
Or you have to make it when it's cool at night, and that's why you would have pasta salad the next day, because at least you cooked the pasta the night before.
You guys are out of your mind.
That's why you made sun tea, so your house didn't get hot.
No chance. Gotta have sun tea so your house didn't get hot.
So I would eat cucumber sandwiches from the cucumbers we grew.
No
Because it
wonder
didn't
why you
have any
like
cooking.
BLTs. You're used to eating toppings.
Because I grew up poor. Yes, Blake.
All right, here we go. I love how this is always a thing. It's so great. Here we go.
Says the rich kid.
I know.
I love how funny you being poor was. Okay.
Here we go.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Erica from California.
Hi, Erica.
I was going to try and do a GBD this time, but I just had too many good things to say about this episode because it was packed with so many emotional highs and lows. I just couldn't stop laughing when Lord John called Claire my dear and Jamie was sulking in the corner. Seriously, Jamie, calm down. I love how the show sticks so closely to the books. As an audiobook fan, I appreciate that. The actress that plays Fanny is phenomenal, in my opinion. Her emotional outburst feels so raw and believable. I absolutely love her.
Let's calm down.
Bree's encounter with Brian was bittersweet. She must have been silently pleading he wouldn't ask her maiden name, but meeting her grandpa had to be thrilling. Rolo's death hit me really hard.
Yes.
Ian's grief was gut-wrenching, and I cried right along with him. I knew it was coming, and it still got me. I give this episode 5 kilts because I'm just so grateful to have it in my life. And seeing Master Raymond was good.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, Willie's comment to Jamie about never calling him Da felt unnecessary. Just keep it to yourself. And Blake, as a fellow Catholic, where are these mythical 30-minute masses? Mine always run over an hour. Anyway, have a great day.
Wait, your Catholic masses run an hour?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because she's in California. They don't run on Dunkin'. People here are caffeinated. The priests here are like, all right, you can stand up, sit down, do your doodle, doodle, doodle. Everybody answers. Doodle, doodle, doodle,
Get down, get up, get down, get up, get up.
Come get your stuff, drink, goodbye.
See you later. We're
Give
going to
us
go
your
watch
money,
the
goodbye.
Pats.
No, it's quick here. It is quick.
Well, yeah, I think they have quickened it over time.
Especially that 4 or 5 p.m. one that's up the road.
Oh, God.
They're in
yeah.
and out.
They are.
You go fill up your gas tank
That
and they're
guy's
out.
got-
You drive down the road and go fill up your gas tank and then the church is empty on your way home.
Like, what the hell happened?
Oh my God, it's drive through.
I just went to the packing.
Drive through communion.
Drive through communion. All right, we got some. Wait.
Say one more time.
Yeah, I know. Good point. I should say one more time too. Mary, never mind. I had something. I had it in my head, then I lost it because you messed me up. All right, we're gonna go to the next email. I'm sure I'll remember it soon. Here we go. This one comes from Joni. She says, just listen to your reaction to the season 7 finale. I just want to say a few things. First and foremost, I am tired of everyone bashing Jamie to Kingdom Come for not instantly making up with Lord John. Jamie is a rape survivor. And when John said what he said about sex with Claire, that was a trigger for Jamie. Secondly, Jamie drew a very hard line at the beginning of his and John's friendship. They could be friends only if John's sexual desire for Jamie was never mentioned or acted upon. To now find out that John not only acted on his sexual fantasies about Jamie, but used Claire to do it, is a multi-layered level of betrayal from Jamie's perspective, even though it happened in a moment of grief. Also, John using Claire as a proxy for Jamie is not some paranoid conclusion Jamie jumped to when he heard that Claire and John slept together. John told Jamie that's what happened. I think Jamie and John will eventually reconcile, but it's going to take some time for Jamie to get there. I, for one, think he should be allowed that time. And as for the faith twist, I don't exactly love it right now, but I'm willing to see how it plays out in Season 8. Many times over the seasons of Outlander, Blake has chided the show for not going in an unexpected direction. And being so upset about this unexpected thing just because it's not the thing you wanted to see in the show strikes me as a bit unfair. Thanks for another great season of Outlander podcasting. Glad you will be covering Blood of My Blood. Sincerely, Joni from Kansas City, Missouri. Listen, it's not that I'm upset because it's not something I didn't want. In fact, I do want weird. I do want things to come up and set us all on a different path than what we thought it was going to be. I would say that the difference in the thing that kind of sets my dislike off from all of this is that it doesn't feel earned. You know, surprises are surprises, twists are twists, but when they don't feel earned and when they betray what happened to the characters in an earlier season, and honestly, it betrays the emotional arc of that season, well, yeah, I think it's difficult for me to accept, and I have a harder time liking this twist just for the sake of that twist. Now, Mary, I do remember what I wanted to say to you. Earlier, there was a listener that said, like, I don't know how you could be... Oh, it was our Queens girl. She said, I don't know how you could be a show watcher only. As someone, Mary, who has read the books and is a show watcher, do you agree with that assessment?
I know that for a lot of people, they don't have the time or patience to read Diana's books.
Yep.
Like, that's what people tell me. Because here's the scoops. If you're a book reader, in general, like, I'm not just saying an Outlander book reader, if you read books regularly, you're going to look at Diana's books often and be like, those are pretty big books, but I love to read. A lot of people don't read.
Mm-hmm.
Don't read for fun. Don't even read like a newspaper anymore. Like, we're so used to quick content that if you ask someone who doesn't regularly read for pleasure to read that can be very overwhelming, especially if they get stuck in a Diana, I don't know, roundabout. You know, just a spot where she's just like really into something. It can be really tough.
Sure.
So I think that for a lot of people, when they know how complex the storyline is, they just say, that's not even my jam, or I don't have the time to even dedicate to it. And if that's not their skill set, or if that's not something that they do regularly right now, that can be very overwhelming.
Sure.
I think that for people who are book readers for fun, that if they enjoy the television series, they will enjoy reading the books.
Mm-hmm.
And that I that's what I just think. I think people who like to read, they see the show and they say, yep, and now I want to read the books. People who enjoy the show, but reading isn't necessarily one of their pastimes, I'm happy they at least love the show.
Yeah. And as a show watcher only, I would say that...
You don't read for fun.
No, I don't. I mean, I like to read, but I don't.
But
I don't sit down and go, "Hey, it's time for a good book." You know,
Yeah.
like I would much rather sit down and consume a show because for me, it's just more enveloping.
Like the books that are on your nightstand, you don't touch really.
Very, very rarely.
So that's what I'm saying is that, and this is what I've heard from other friends of mine who are show watchers and not book readers. It's just, and vice versa. The friends of mine who have read the Outlander series, they are pleasure book readers, not like, you know, those kind of books, but sometimes that, but I'm just saying that they read for fun.
Sure. And again, as a show watcher, I would say I prefer watching shows. And is there a sense that there's probably something left on the table in terms of this story, you know, as it relates to watching just the show? Well, I mean, I can certainly say yes, because I have obviously read the books, some of them, after I've watched the show. So I know that there's probably a little bit more to the story in the books than the show. But I don't care about that stuff as long as the story that's being told for the show makes sense, which kind of ties back to this whole thing that Joni said about the the twist in not being happy with it, and that they, want something that is, unexpected. But again, as long as it's earned. And then, Mary, just going off of what Joni said earlier, I would love to know your thoughts about her take on Jamie as a rape survivor and being angry at Lord John. And like the kind of, I don't want to say unsaid agreement, but like it was like a known thing. Like, hey, we're cool, but like don't be like that with me. And the fact that he used, or the fact that Lord John used Claire as a proxy for Jamie. Is Jamie like is it fair for him to be legitimately this upset at Lord John?
Yes, I think so. I think it's fair to have people have any emotions, their own journey through this, especially with something so traumatic. I think their emotions are always fair. I think him feeling the way that he feels is fair. How you decide to act upon those emotions and behave upon those emotions is a different thing, however. And I wish that he and Claire could have had more discussions of it. I'm not saying that Claire, this is your job, but like also Claire totally was involved in the sex. Okay, she was there for it, and part of me wishes that Claire sat down with Jamie a little bit more and helped him choose a better action as a friend in regards to this. And it doesn't need to be full of forgiveness. You can be a kind human who has years and decades of relationship with this person and still hope they're not dead, but not forgive them. That's okay. You don't have to forgive him yet. You don't have to forget about it yet. But yeah, I do think his feelings are as anyone's feelings. Your feelings can be your feelings, and that those can be real, but it's about your choices of how you act upon it that is different.
Sure. Okay. Let's get to the next voicemail. Here we go. As long as my computer allows me to do it. Here we go.
Hi, this is Squee.
Hello.
Hello.
Calling Blake and Mary.
Hello.
I have a theory.
Okay.
Louise maybe switched the babies.
Wow.
But you probably thought of that already. So I do have another theory.
Okay.
Tell Blake to sit down.
Oh, he is.
Thank you.
Luckily I
now
am.
Take a few cleansing breaths.
Ooh.
The other theory is that Blackjack was a time traveler.
Oh.
He healed himself at the fort, never died, and he went to France, and he had to go there to help his brother, and he stole Faith out of her grave. And the only way they can prove it is to go back to France and dig up Faith's grave and find no body in the grave.
Wow.
Thanks. Hope that helps.
Well, that is an all-time take. That is an all-time. I dare I say, that's a Chernobyl take. What say you?
Yeah. That's Chernobyl take. Yes. That's a huge take.
Well, here's what I wonder. He's a time traveler. Okay, fine. What though does that have to do with him
digging up
the baby's grave?
You want to know how I feel about this take? I feel about this take just like I felt when I watched the finale and they said Faith was alive. What?
Really?
Hey, my mind is open to all possibilities right now.
Sure.
So I'm here for it. I like that. I like that she asked you to sit down and take some cleansing breaths.
Well, when it comes to blackjack,
that's why she knew you were going to get all excited.
It's hard not to get excited when it comes to blackjack.
And it's hard not to come up with your own theories about this.
It is. So I give her all the credit. But that is a Chernobyl take. I love that idea. I'm in. Let's see what happens.
All right.
Mary, give it the interesting.
Interesting.
Good job. It's an official interesting. Here we go.
Mary, Blake.
Hey.
Steve Mack from Merrimack here.
Hey,
Steve.
Season finale. Crazy time. Crazy time. Loved everything about the episode, but we just got to talk about the last 3 minutes.
Agreed.
No matter what they do, no matter the explanation they give us, it's going to be difficult for me to get over the fact that some chicanery was pulled that robs Jamie and Claire of raising a daughter together.
Sure.
Whether it's this faith actually isn't their faith, which kind of cheapens the emotions of the end of this episode, or the faith they're talking about is their faith and she lived, which cheapens season 2.
Yes.
Landing the plane appropriately here is, I don't know, threading the needle that I'm having trouble envisioning. I ain't no screenwriter. I can't write a story if my life depended on it. But I'm having trouble seeing the end game here. But hey, love your show. Love you guys.
Aw, thanks.
See you next season.
Thanks, Steve. As always, love when you call. Thank you so much. And I think it's a fair criticism, Mary. It's like something's up, and no matter what you choose, it's going to cheapen something, one way or the other. And listen, Steve says he says it himself. I ain't no writer, but I'll tell you one thing though. Steve knows good TV, and it feels a little, you know what? Smelling some fish. Yeah, it's a little fishy.
Okay, I won't use the word cheapen or fishy until we see how they land the plane.
Okay.
Until we see how it happens. I'm here with an open mind.
Open mind, open heart. Here we go.
Yeah, that's me.
Let's do the next one.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Liza calling in to share my thoughts on Outlander Season 7, Episode 16, 100,000 Angels.
All right.
Before diving into my GBG, I want to play the accent game with you.
All right.
I'll reveal my location at the end. The good.
Press pause.
What I really loved was the moment...
Okay. Liza.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Hold on. I got to go back. I got to go back. All right. Hold on. Here we go.
7, Episode 16, 100,000 Angels. Before diving into my GBG, I want to play the accent game with you.
Okay. I'm going to go with like a Germany.
Okay.
In that area.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that whole area is basically Germany anyway. So I
no, it's not.
I can make the joke. I'm Danish. I'm going to go with like Germany, Austria, Denmark, maybe even a Sweden. I could get a Sweden in there too.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm the same area.
All right, same area.
I need to listen a little more.
All right, here we go.
I was going to say Austria.
All right. Well, you do have the Sound of Music expertise.
People in Sound of Music did not have real accents.
No, I know, but whatevs.
All right.
That's why the movie's awful. Sound of Music. Get out of here. That reminds me. We were watching Love is Blind, and they're like, these two people bonded over their love of Sound of Music.
Yes, they did.
And then, spoiler it, they didn't end up getting married. I was like, yes, one for team no Sound of Music.
Okay, right. Liza.
Here we go.
I'll reveal my location at the end.
Okay.
The good. What I really loved was the moment where Jane waved to the angels just before taking her own life.
Totally agree.
I know it might sound odd to call that a good, but I found it unexpectedly touching.
Yep.
Initially, I thought her gesture was a bit childlike and strange. However, by the end of the episode, when we saw the true meaning behind it, I felt a profound sense of warmth.
Yep.
That small symbolic act reassured me that she believed she was heading to a better place, and it left a deep impression on me. The bad. The way episode 15 left us hanging felt unresolved in episode 16. There were two major cliffhangers that were simply brushed past. First, Claire was on the brink of death, and Denzel was set up to prove his surgical training by saving her. But then, episode 16 just started with her already fine, as if that pivotal moment never happened. Second, there was the suspenseful moment with Mandy, Weird Kid Mandy, running for the stones, calling, "Daddy!" It seemed like something significant might occur. Maybe she'd disappear into another time.
Oh, it looks like she got cut off. But you know what? Listen, it's the finale.
Yep.
It's where we break all the rules. Liza, you get another shot. Here we go.
Hi, Mary and Blake. It's Liza again. I got cut off, but I hope you guys can forgive me because it's the final. So my bad being the two cliffhangers, not being followed up in the last episode,
Yep.
I just didn't like that.
Weird Mandy.
But I have to mention the moment with Rolo, where all the emotional dialogues in this episode didn't quite bring me to tears. Seeing Rolo dead hit me hard. It reminded me of being in school watching the movie White Fang for the first time.
Aww.
There's a heartbreaking scene where the mother wolf dies in the snow.
Spoiler
and
alert.
at age 10, I bawled my eyes out. And here I am, 25 years later, still reacting the same way. Some things just never change.
Nope.
But my grade. For the first time in years, I felt truly engaged with Outlander again. Although I've kept watching, it's been often more about following your podcast than the show itself.
Oh, thank you.
This episode changed that. I found myself completely focused, no phone in hand, invested in the characters and in their dialogue. It really reminded me why I fell in love with the show in the first place. Now, for the big reveal, where am I from?
Okay, hold on. Where is she from? Where
We already said
No,
that area.
final take. You got to give me. You can't give me a region. You got to give me like a country or
I already did.
city or state.
I already gave Austria.
Oh, you did give Austria. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's find out.
What is yours? You were the one who's like, this, or even this one.
No. My initial take was Germany.
Okay.
And, but I would go with that whole, I would go with the whole region, but that's against the rules. You
Okay.
can't just give a region.
Yeah, we know.
You got to be specific.
Okay.
Here we go. Somehow there's these unwritten rules now. Here we go.
Clue. I saw the actress who plays Galis Duncan just yesterday grabbing a coffee near my house.
Denmark. That's where she's from. Let's see.
So, where do you think I'm from? I'm from Amsterdam, the Netherlands.
Oh, the Netherlands.
All right, thank you for listening. Bye.
See, I was right. It was Germany.
Oh my God. Blake, stop.
I know. It's just, come on.
No.
No, but I agree. The Netherlands. I've always wanted to go to the Netherlands. Like, how cool would that be?
Yeah, I'd love it.
That would be so awesome. Just very pretty. And I just feel like no matter where you go in the Netherlands, it's just magical. Like, that's my sense of it. Like, it's just a magical, happy place. Like, I picture the Netherlands as like Santa's village. That's what my take.
All right.
The
I think it'd be a surprise.
Yeah, the closest I've ever come to the Netherlands is going on a Holland America cruise line.
Oh my God.
That's the closest I have ever come to it. But I've always wanted to go.
Oh my God.
All right, here we go.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Jenny. I apparently
Jenny.
live in a place that has no accent. I'm not sure that I agree with that, but I'm going to leave my city and state till the end to see if you have any thoughts, if I sound like I'm from somewhere to you.
Okay.
But I am a long-ish time listener since 2020, first-time caller, calling about Season 7, Episode 16, 100,000 Angels. I'm actually not even going to get into my GBGs. I have several for each, but I have a question really for you, since your book and show only, and for the listeners, readers, just to ponder, I guess, themselves. Every time I watch one of these episodes, every time I sit down to watch, as a book reader who has now read the entire series, including all the side quests 3 times through, every time I sit down to watch a new episode, I think, I would absolutely not still be watching this if I hadn't read the books. And maybe that's really ungenerous, and I'm probably kidding myself because I probably would still be sitting down because I love these characters. I do love the story at the end of the day. But the direction the show has taken has just felt so disjointed, COVID season aside. Like, forget season 6.
Yeah.
It has just felt so goofy. I'm just so curious, if you are not a book reader or if you haven't caught up to where we are in the show, is it still truly an enjoyable watching experience, or are you just holding on because it's coming to an end and you want to know what happens? Okay, well, that's my thought. I give it 4.5 because I can't not, and I am from Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, okay. All right. So, by the way, go Buckeyes. OH. I know Jenny's over there going IO right now. To be honest, to be 100% honest, Mary and I have had this conversation. And I think we've had this conversation at least like 3 or 4 times. And it not necessarily like about us, but about, the viewership and how other people are taking it in. Like, we all, I think, love Outlander. If we
it's not I think they're listening to this podcast, so yeah, they
What I'm saying is I'm pretty positive that we love Outlander. Number one, because Mary and I are doing a podcast about it. Number 2, because you, the listener, are listening to a podcast from 2 people doing a show in their basement about this show, right? So we all have this baseline love for it. But Mary, I think it is fair to ask, okay, are we in it because we are still in love with it? Or are we in it, not like you and me, but the royal we? Are we in it because we want to see the end? And we do love the characters, but is there a point where we would have been like, if it wasn't a show that we weren't like invested in the way that we are? Is it fair to make this claim and this like concern the way what was brought up by Jenny?
I mean, like you said, Blake, we've talked about this. We've talked about it for people who have given up on the show. There were a large portion of the fans who were hardcore in it in the beginning seasons who are no longer hardcore fans.
Sure.
So it definitely happened, but I will say a lot of those people have come back in this season and last season too. Or wait, this is all one season, part A and part B.
Yeah.
Because this felt like old Outlander.
Yeah.
In many ways. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just happy to be here. Most people that I talk to are happy to be here, and we're here for the ride, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to like. Again,
we're biased.
It's hard to separate the two, right? It's hard to like think about it in terms of, okay, I'm enjoying this thing because I enjoy the thing, or am I enjoying it because I just want to see how it ends? I think it's something that we could all ask ourselves, and that has, Mary, I think a potential danger for a lot of viewers, because if there is a sect of people, let's say, that are here for like, okay, I just want to see the end now. I've spent this much time, now I got to know what happens. There is a chance, Mary, I think that a lot of people could, no matter what happens, be disappointed by the series finale or disappointed in the series final season. And does that potentially, mark no matter what, does that give us a bad ending? Right? Like, will the fandom be divided the way that it was for Game of Thrones or Lost or even The Sopranos, right? Like, is there a chance that could happen with Outlander?
Oh, yeah. Hate is going to hate.
Yes.
People have, and they are loud. The people I think who are very passionate about the fandom who did leave at some point, a lot of them are loud. A lot of them are just like, meh, turned out that it wasn't my cup of tea, or the Droughtlanders were way too long, so I lost my pacing and I lost my enthusiasm. We had the COVID season, so it's just like, I get it. I get it if it's not everyone's cup of tea, or if it lost steam for people.
Sure.
But I think it's sad is when people just become very vocal haters.
Yeah.
Don't yuck someone's yum. At least so loudly. But then again, to each their own.
Yes.
So just don't be hurtful, I guess,
Yes.
when you're yucking.
You can yuck me, but don't make me feel bad about yucking me.
Don't put me down when you yuck me. Don't put people down. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a softie.
I feel like it's kind of hard to not put someone down if you're yucking them. I feel like the yuck is inherently about them.
That's like a problem you got to talk about with your therapist.
Fair.
I think that's a bigger.
You know what? It's just one more copay. Here we
go.
All right, this one comes from Sharon. Sharon says, Dear Mary and Blake, I enjoyed the latest episode and your review. I've been a listener to your podcast for a few years. I've not read the books, but my reactions often align with Mary, but appreciate Blake's perspective and cinematic knowledge. I feel like that's like everybody in this podcast. Everybody loves Mary. Everybody's like, yeah, Mary, we get each other.
Mm-hmm.
Blake, yeah, you're a pain in the ass, but you're okay. It's fine. You're married to Mary, so that makes up for it.
You know a lot of cool stuff.
For Mary, your feelings on your lost child are very much normal for a mother who has lost an infant. I lost my son 32 years ago, and I still have thoughts about how he would have lived and what he would be doing if he had lived.
Giving you a big virtual hug, Sharon.
Katrina's portrayal of Claire's reactions to Faith in Series 2 and whenever Faith is mentioned ring true for me. For example, discussing the loss of Isabel with Ian. Mm-hmm. My theory, based on the number of travelers we have met during this series, is that Jane and Fanny's mother, Faith, is not the Faith Fraser, child of Jamie and Claire we saw depart in Series 2. The portrait at Lally Block. Oh my God, I cannot speak today. The portrait at Lallybrock of the woman with dark hair.
It only works if you got your really thick accent.
That's what happens when I get frustrated.
We know.
It just comes out.
We know.
With dark hair is very similar to the Lockett portrait. Jamie's mother had red hair, as he described when talking to Claire about seeing her and his brother in their coffin. I think Jane and Fanny may be related to Brian Fraser, perhaps a cousin or a Mackenzie traveler who learned the very popular song from 1909. Looking forward to next season's revelations. Thank you both for your podcast. It has enriched my rewatches of the episodes. Regards from the rural New South Wales, Australia.
Love it.
Again, from Sharon. Mary, your thoughts on this person, yes, being a traveler.
But not faith.
But not faith.
I'm okay with
it's another faith. And you know what? I kind of buy into this take. Sorry, I asked you what your thoughts are. Go ahead.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, you're okay with it?
I'll end it there because I know you're on a roll.
No.
Because then you forget.
No, I won't forget. I'm solid
that's
in this.
That's all I had.
I think there is a reason they showed us that portrait. I think there is there's a purpose for that portrait. It's not there just for the sake of being there. It's not there just to fill space. Because if it was that, I'd be disappointed. But I think that there's more to it than what it may be letting on, and I kind of buy this take because of that. I think it's a cool idea.
Interesting.
I would still feel a little cheapened, but I could that to me makes most sense.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Blake. This is Jane from Philly. I love this episode of Outlander. I'm giving it 5 kilts. My good is anything having to do with Jane. I thought she was a great character. I'd like to see her in other performances too.
Well, let's be honest here. That's your namesake. I feel like that's going to be a little bit of a biased opinion. Let's just throw that out there. Okay.
I'm here for that.
Here we go.
My bad was the whole Rolo thing and just like loose ends not being tied up.
Hold on.
I don't know. And then my greatest...
What?
Meaning your bad was that Rolo died and that hurt your heart, or your bad was his death and you didn't like that? Like, not just that it was sad, or did you just say, like, why did we do this? Like, was it a waste of your time to have the dog die? Or were you sad? Was your bad... You know, sometimes I get conflicted how my bad is what makes me sad.
Yep.
And then other times my bad is like, I didn't like the acting in this, or I felt like whatever. That's what I don't know. I don't know, Jane. Let's continue.
All right, here we go.
This was the song that Fanny was singing and that Claire was singing to the baby, to her baby. And I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, Mary, if that has caused you a lot of trauma.
Oh, thanks, Jane.
I'm sure that scene is not easy for you to watch. But, you know, as a labor and delivery nurse, I helped lots of moms through lots of similar terrible experiences, and it takes time. You will heal. So you guys have a great week. Loved your episodes. Love the podcast. Bye.
Thanks, Jane. I appreciate that. And thank you for the kind words. That's very kind of you.
Hi, Mary and Blake. It's Maureen calling from good old Edinburgh. I'm giving the season finale of Outlander a 4.6 guilt rating.
Okay.
My good is Roger yelling, Brianna! I felt the joy in his voice, and that was beautiful. My bad is Rolo's death. Not that it's a bad idea or anything. Like, I get that the dog wasn't immortal. I just was not prepared for John Bell sobbing over the corpse of his beloved pet, and then me sobbing so much that I couldn't watch my TV anymore. So I'm just never watching this again. Nope. No, thank you. I can't. Then there's the elephant in the room. And I have about 100,000 thoughts about this finale that I can't possibly fit into 90 seconds. So I'm just going to say that the show was at least bold. And that's my grade. It's throwing caution and the books out the window, and I'm all about it. It's also raising a lot of issues. It's shoving itself into a minefield, but I have decided to make peace with the cliffhanger and to reserve full judgment for when we get the whole picture of the Faith deal. It's too soon to tell if the show jumped the shark. It's too big of a question mark to fully say if it's bad or not, so I'll sit on that fence for now. I will continue to go back and forth about it, but I have decided to have faith, pun intended, that Matt Roberts and Tony Graffia had a solid plan when they went with this. All right, that's it for me. Thank you guys for this podcast. See you later.
Maureen, I'm right there with you. They didn't make this and just say, let's do this and then figure things out. You know, like they've had a plan. So if nothing else, it's getting people talking. If nothing else, it's not boring. You know?
Yeah, you know, Mary, that is a perfectly reasonable, level-headed take from Maureen. Like, I don't think you could be more level-headed than
Maureen's
that.
always a pretty level-headed caller in her.
Yes, she is. She's got good takes. She doesn't go crazy. She's not jumping the shark herself. I appreciate that. The problem is, we got a show to do, and it's a talk show. So I don't mind the fence take. I think it's a good idea. In all reality, the thing is that I think it's reasonable to want to just pump the brakes a little bit and say, okay, I think, you know, we this is good. I mean, this could be a minefield, but it's also could be really cool. And I'm sure that Matt and Tony, like Maureen said, do have a reasonable plan ahead of them. But at least as of, I can only go off of what I see right now. And right now, ooh, man, it worries me. I'm not going to lie.
Hi, it's Tonya from Norway.
Hi, Tonya.
This was a hard voicemail to make. I have decided to give this emotional episode a 5 kilt rating.
Oh.
Basically, I can't think that fate lived and we're sad about it. It was a twist I didn't see coming, and I'm excited to see what's to come.
Hey.
It felt like this was a result of the series ending and only having 1 season left to end 2+ books. The good was Florrie Mae Wilkinson acting. The bad was Rolo dying. Just lost our family dog Tanya this November, so this death hit hard. The great was Master Raymond's apology to Claire. And to end this season, I was really pleased to have the family reunion in 1739 out of the fog. Imagine that we only got Mandy running through the stone, happy that we didn't get that cliffhanger ending. Bye-bye.
Bye, Tanya.
Daddy. Ugh, that would have made me very upset.
Weird Mandy. Weird Mandy just running through the thing. Daddy!
And Tanya, I'm so sorry to hear about the loss of your dog.
Oh, I know. That's rough, man. I remember when we lost Khaleesi. That was pretty brutal. Like our cat, we had a cat named Khaleesi, and she was an indoor cat. And then when we moved, like she just desperately wanted to go outside in the worst way.
Yeah.
And we figured, well, we don't live in the city anymore. Like we have a yard and we have a beautiful bike path, and we're in this kind of not isolated neighborhood, but like
but we're in the suburbs.
Yeah, we're in the subs, you know. So like we figured, okay, well, you so bad want to go outside, we'll let you be an outdoor cat. And it was great for a while until she got hit by a car. Then everybody was so sad in my house that I was like, I'm done. I am done. It was like a day or two later. I remember we rescued a cat
Lumos.
who's now Lumos.
Yeah.
And we named her Lumos. Why, Mary?
Because she's light in our time of darkness.
Yes, that's correct. And it's kind of worked out since. So, but yeah, Khaleesi, man, that was rough. It was such a good cat name too. Like, how cool is it to have a cat named Khaleesi?
I mean, cool if you know it, but every time we had to take her to the vets, they were like, we're like, Khaleesi. Don't you watch Game of Thrones?
All right. Marvin, why don't you read the next email?
All right. I'm waiting to share my feedback on season 7 finale.
By the way, this one comes from Amy. Sorry.
Okay, thanks. Yeah. Get your hankies ready because, wow, this was everything I've been waiting for. By far, it was the best episode of the entire season. I cried through the whole thing. The good Jamie taking care of Claire for once. I absolutely love the scene where she needed help getting up to pee and asked him to leave the room. After all the gross stuff she's taken care of for other people over the years, it's so true to her character to want her privacy.
That's fair. Yep.
But Claire, you don't wipe after you pee? What about those wee beasties you're always talking about? You can borrow my hanky next time. That's sort of bad. I really feel like they missed an opportunity with William coming to Jamie for help rescuing Jane. I was so ready to see Jamie go inside, change into his kilt, and show that he was ready for the long-anticipated moment where he could go on a mission with his son. I was so disappointed when that didn't happen. It would have been such a powerful visual and emotional moment. The really bad, she's multiple things. Amy, you know how I feel about this.
Yeah, it's a tie. You can't have ties.
Her really bad. Having to see poor dead Rolo several times. One quick shot would have been enough for the audience to understand. Showing him repeatedly felt like overkill. The great the Jamie and Lord John redo.
Yep.
That look on Jamie's face when he dared Lord John to continue their conversation from the woods. Oh my God. All right, you guys, put your swords down. The truly great, the fully fleshed out story arc of Jane and Fanny. From the glimpse into their innocent childhood to Jane's fiery response to the reporter. I loved it when she said she was only sorry he wasn't alive. She could kill him again. To her heartbreak end. It was so deeply moving. The entire episode felt steeped in blue.
It did.
Painfully beautiful and reminiscent of the loss of faith. The actresses who played Jane and Fanny were phenomenal. I forgot I was watching a TV show and felt completely immersed in their story. I loved how they really took the time to develop these characters. As for the twist about Faith possibly not dying, Blake.
Oh, sorry.
Blake.
Sorry. I got it. Here we go.
As for the twist about Faith possibly not dying in France, I'm not sure how I feel about it, but I'm okay with it because it was genuinely surprising ending, even for book readers. Overall, I give this episode 5 kilts. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Cheers from Amy in Portland.
Well, Amy, I got to tell you, best episode of the season. That I'm not saying that's a Chernobyl take, but that's a pretty hot take. What do you think, man?
That's Amy's opinion.
I know. I'm just talking about the take. I'm talking about the take itself. What do you think about the take?
You know, I dig it. I dig it for Amy.
Okay.
All the feels.
So many feels.
So many feels in that episode. I don't think Jamie would have had the time to go change into his kilt, have the magical music, but I would have been here for it too, Amy.
I'm always here for the magical music.
I need to go on a mission. I need to get my kilt.
Let me get the kilt on. Thank you so much. This one comes from Erin. Erin says, the finale gets a 4.8 kilts from me. The good. Finally, they managed to pack a ton of action into one episode without it feeling like they did. Bad. It's a tie, Mary. We all know how you feel about ties.
Yeah.
Number 1, Jamie. Faith lived. What are we doing here, Outlander? Master Raymond did what? And how is a friggin' baby gonna remember? You know what? Never mind. I need to pretend that didn't happen for a second if you want my grade. Number 2, Brianna talking to Brian. She's so smug. I can't come up with a better word for it, but the acting is like a drunk teenager who comes home to find dad in an uncharacteristically chatty mood, and a few seconds into the conversation, she's already congratulating herself for her ability to act totally sober. Oh. I got to tell you, that was fantastic. Great
Did you
job.
ever do that?
Try to act sober in front of my parents?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, there were times. I will say that I was not imbibing in alcohol. I was imbibing in some plant life. And I would come home and just be like trying to like talk to my mom or my dad. And like, I thought that I was like awesome. And I'm sure that I was a disaster. I'm sure that I was.
I'm sure you were.
I'm sure I was a mess.
Yeah.
But I guess I got away with it a few times. I don't know.
Probably not.
They're just like,
Probably not.
Dude, go to bed.
I never did.
You never did?
No. I
Really?
didn't. No, because I never drank.
Okay.
Until I went to college, and never did anything else. And I never like drank. Even when I would come home from, I didn't have a home to go home to once I left for college.
Fair.
So yeah, my parents never saw me like that, I guess.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That is kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when your family moves and forgets to get you a room. Thanks, guys.
And just leaves your room totally intact.
By the way, Mary, we moved. Go pick up the stuff from your room before the mover, whatever
Before
the people
new family
moves
moves
in. Came home from spring break to find a ghost house, except for my room. That was weird. Don't do that, friends. Don't recommend.
Definitely don't do that. That's a 1-star review on Google.
In life experiences.
All right, Aaron continues. I hate to throw shade at Sophie Skelton, but it's too bad for her worst work of the series that it happens in the scene, given Andrew Whipp's beautiful performance. And they're great. All the feels, especially given how much they were trying to do in this episode. I can't get over just how beautiful and emotional it was. Every single relationship had a moment that just pulled at your heartstrings. I was wiping my tears from my eyes from the start. Well, not bad. Yeah, listen. I love that comparison that Aaron made. That was awesome. And I think that was totally on point. Great job. And the smugness, I will agree, it kind of comes through in the episode. Oh, that was great.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Libby in North Carolina,
Hi, Libby.
weighing in on episode 716, 100,000 Angels. I'm giving it 4.8 kilts because I loved everything about it up until the end. My good. Every scene was beautiful, emotionally speaking, and so well done. I especially loved the image of Claire and Jamie taking Fanny into their family and starting anew. It was a lovely bookend to the beginning of the season when the two of them mourned and recounted all the losses and separations that they had experienced as a family. My bad. I could practically hear Blake from hundreds of miles away saying, "What are we doing here?" when they ended the episode, strongly suggesting that Faith somehow survived. I know it's fantasy and, whatever, but I just can't get past the fact that William may have had relations with his niece, however unwittingly. That's like, ew. Anyway, as a book reader, I also did not get the wonderful, satisfying ending to the season that I had so been looking forward to. My great, there were so many. But I think the icing on the cake for me was how beautifully filmed and edited this entire episode was. The lighting, the angles, Bear's music in the background, it all made an already beautiful episode feel electric. Anyway, gonna miss you guys during Droughtlander, but I'm reading Lord John, and it's awesome!
Yes.
See you guys. Bye.
It's electric. Boogie, boogie, boogie.
Yeah, many people have told me that it might be a good idea for me to read the Lord John series. Mary, I don't know. What do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, you think so?
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like that's like almost like a bridge too far for me a little bit.
I just think that you need to learn how to read more.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like,
I mean, I enjoy reading. I do. But like we said
don't do
earlier,
enough of it.
just not a lot.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
It's okay.
Like you said, Mary, I've had the same books on my nightstand for at least 2 years.
Yes.
Oh.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Elaine from California.
Hi, Elaine.
I am calling about Outlander, episode 716. I'm a longtime listener, first-time caller. I found you when I fell in love with This Is Us and started watching Outlander based on your recommendation.
Oh, wow.
Because I kind of feel like I know you, when I saw that it took a while to podcast on 716, I worried that it was because of your pregnancy losses.
Aww.
And I want to say that I'm sorry for everything that's stirred up for you. Back to Outlander. My hope for the Faith story is that they pull a Queen Charlotte with Blood of My Blood and use Blood of My Blood to fill in the details of the main story, but don't make it the main story in season 8. Mm-hmm. What happened to Faith is something that Jamie and Claire can't ever know. And so I think spending a lot of time on it in season 8 would not work. It really makes Faith's story perfect for Apocrypha, like Blood of My Blood. That's all. Thanks for everything that you do. Slanja.
Mary, I know we've talked about like, oh, let's have Faith be a character in Blood of My Blood and whatever. And that's something that has come up from other listeners. But if they take Faith and they go the Queen Charlotte route, how do you feel about that?
I'm here for anything, guys. I really am. I'm just not down for aliens. Like, as long as we don't have aliens in this thing, I'm cool. And I love aliens. I've got nothing against aliens. I'm just saying that would be too much for me.
This was the opposite of the leftovers. Mary, every hot take we had for the leftovers was alien related.
I even asked Damon Lindelof, like, are you sure? Are you sure there's not going to be aliens in this?
He's like, Mary, I heard your alien theory.
Yeah, it's not.
Calm down.
Please stop. Yeah, I'm just excited to be heading back, and I'm excited to be in Scotland. I think it'd be kind of weird to have Faith just like pop up, but who knows? Maybe she'll be like, the hidden Mickey Mouses that they have in different Disney films. They're like little Easter eggs that you can find them in movies.
Yep.
Maybe it'll be like a hidden Mickey Mouse. Like maybe Claire's parents will go and get a cup of Joe somewhere, and their waitress will be a girl named Faith, and then maybe Jamie's parents will be out and, you know, they'll go down to the kitchen and there'll be some girl baking a loaf. What's her name? Faith? You know, like, I don't know. I would hope it's not that, but I have no idea.
Hopefully it's not like those Easter eggs that we had as kids. You know, where with the inappropriate Easter eggs in Disney movies.
Oh.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not those.
Okay. Yes, agreed. And thank you, Elaine. I love that Elaine came from listening first to our This Is Us podcast.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I love finding out how people originally find our podcast.
Yeah, I love that idea too. And it's not something that we've actually heard quite a bit where it's like, hey, I listened to This Is Us. So then I went to X,
it's usually
Y, and Z.
Outlander to go to something else.
Yeah. Which is really cool. This Is Us is one of those shows that if you haven't listened to our This Is Us 2 podcast and you were a This Is Us fan, during the Droughtlander, and if you ever cared to listen to it, I think This Is Us is one of those shows that holds a really special place in my heart, just because I think it helped me and it helped me, I think, navigate a lot of my own personal issues. And I think a lot of those things come through in the podcast. And it was just one of those things where, man, that show meant a lot, I think, I know I can speak for you, Mary. I just know that it meant a lot to us. And I really recommend it. I think it was great.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Jeanette from Katy, Texas, calling about the last episode of season 7, 100,000 Angels. I didn't grow up in Texas, but I've lived here for almost 20 years. I'll tell you at the end where I'm originally from.
Okay.
I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, and I've been listening to your podcast since the beginning of Outlander and also when you guys did Game of Thrones, so I feel like your family.
I don't even think she's from America originally.
That's a good idea. I kind of like that. You want to play it again?
No, just keep going. But that's because she's saying she lives in Texas. She didn't grow up in Texas.
Yeah.
So
there's not a speck of Texas in that accent.
No,
not one.
So keep going.
Okay.
So when you guys did Game of Thrones, so I feel like your family.
Oh.
I gave this episode 4.8 kilts, and here are my good, bads, and greats. My good, Brianna getting to meet her grandfather Brian, the one she's named after. I just loved it. My bads, Jane dying. I really was hoping the writers would go a different route than the books and maybe let her live. I think she would have added something interesting when they finally go back to the Ridge. Also, they took over a week to go get her. They knew where she was. If it had been Claire in that house, Jamie would have been breaking her out immediately after they arrested her.
Mm-hmm.
And my second bad, Faith. They need to just leave Faith alone. That's all I'm going to say. I agree with you, Blake. They cheapened the emotional weight of season 2. I hate that the writers dared to touch and ruin that beautiful, heartbreaking episode in season 2. I absolutely hated it. And my great. I know you haven't been impressed so far, Blake, but I really like the actress that plays Fanny. Maybe this episode changed your mind a little bit. Most of her scenes have been very emotional ones, and she's done such a good job. The scene in the cemetery was just heartbreaking. Okay, final guesses. Where am I from? I am from...
Hold on. All right. Final take, Mary. What
She's
do you
outside
got?
of the U.S.
Outside of the U.S. I'm going to go...
You think it's still U.S.? You're going to pick inside U.S.
No,
and I'm saying
I'm
outside.
outside U.S.
What?
I'm outside
Cheater.
U.S. I'm going to
That's what I
go...
That's what I said. You really don't think she's from the U.S.?
Well, I'm not going to say... I'm not going to just go with outside U.S. Again, we know the rules. The rules is that you got to be specific.
No, but my big question to you is you don't think she's from the U.S. originally?
No.
Okay.
I think that she is... I'm going to say... all right, I'm going to go out on a limb. Going out on a limb. You ready?
Yeah.
Belgium.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I don't know why. I'm feeling Belgium right now.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. What's your take?
Outside the U.S.
You just won't play by the rules.
Huh.
You got to give me something.
Nothing.
Give me a region, at least. Can I get a continent?
No.
Okay.
I'll give you a northern hemisphere.
Okay. Great. Awesome.
Denmark.
Oh! I was close, but Denmark. All right. One of the fellow Danes.
Denmark to Texas. That's a culture shift.
That's a huge culture shock. Holy smokes, Jeanette, I would love to learn more about that, what you felt about that.
We had an interview person come to our school this week, and I was at one of her meetings, and she's originally from Turkey, and then she lived out in L.A., and so she's interviewing a job here, and I asked her, I said, so what's your experience with New Englanders? And she's like, why? Are they different? And I was like, whoa.
Lady.
She said, are they like people from New York in the movies? Kinda.
Lady, we're much worse.
Oh, man. I was like, you're used to nice people.
I don't know what you're thinking, lady, but this ain't it.
This ain't L.A. anymore.
Well, Denmark, though. All right. Fellow Dane. I like it. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Shelley, longtime listener,
Hi, Shelley.
first-time caller. You can guess where I'm from if you want. My good was when Ian returned from rescuing William, and he looked at Rachel as if he was going to kiss her, and instead he pet his dog. The same thing happens in my house sometimes now that we have a puppy, though I will say it was weird that Ian never kissed Rachel after petting Royo. I was going to have a second good, which was seeing the Northern Lights, except are there really Northern Lights in New England? I don't think there are.
There are.
There are.
My bad this week was Faith. Mary, I'm so sorry for your loss. I've had multiple miscarriages, and each one felt like the death of hope.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was cruel to give Claire and viewers who have grieved a miscarriage hope that Faith survived. My great, and I know this contradicts what I just said, was Fanny singing. So Fanny knowing that song and Faith being alive, it really makes zero logical sense given that Claire held her dead baby in her arms for a day, and Master Raymond was detained by the king after helping her. But there's part of me that longs for magic and beauty that defies logic, especially given the brutal time these characters live in. So I hope that Outlander goes all in with magic and the beautiful in its final season. My outlandish theory is that Faith was actually a twin because in the Master Raymond scene, there's an image that looks like the blue heron separating into two parts. So I live in New Mexico, but I'm originally from Massachusetts, and I love your podcast. It's
Oh, she got cut off. Well, thank you so much. And she's originally from Massachusetts.
You couldn't tell.
There is no Massachusetts in her
if
whatsoever.
she's originally from Massachusetts, her parents are not with that lack of accent.
Yeah.
And she's very articulate. I bet she had wicked smart parents who were here for academia reasons, that weren't originally from Massachusetts, or if her family really was from Massachusetts, she now talks for a living and had to lose her accent.
Oh, okay. I wonder if her parents were professors at
That's
Harvard.
what I mean. Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, no, we're not gonna. No, you can't do that. You're not gonna be one of those people.
You're gonna have less of an accent than Bree, and she actually grew up in Boston.
Right. Freaking Bree. There's not even a subtle hint of anything Boston.
That's okay. But her parents were English.
That's true. That's a good point. A good point. All right. The next one comes from, let's see here. This one comes from Julie. She says, do you do season GBGs? 4.2 kilts, good, but lower than the other seasons. The good, Bear McCreary. Bad, too much trying to hit book plot points. Ryan Condal got massive shade from George R.R. Martin for making hard choices for House of the Dragon that George didn't agree with. But he was right to make them. And the great, Sam Hewen. As a book reader, I knew that Sam was an excellent choice for Jaime, but I never quite forgot that was Sam up on screen. I accepted that this was because no one could truly embody the king of men, and we weren't all lucky to have something so close in Sam. Weren't we all lucky? Until season 7, that is, when Sam totally disappeared, and I 100% bought that was Jaime. It was a shock, actually, but a welcome one. And Mary, Julie is also our listener that gives us our stats for the season.
Oh, thanks, Julie.
And she always entitles it every season. Stats are for everyone and not just nerds.
I love it.
So here are the stats that we have so far for
Julie, you're a godsend.
I know, it's great. Wait, actually, Mary, do you have a season kilt rating or a season GBG for season 7?
No,
not
I do
yet.
not have that prepared.
Okay, fair
Sorry.
enough.
Listener feedback. I just get to sit and read and chat. I honestly treat it like we're hanging out. I'm doing my embroidery.
Yep.
And it's like we're in the room just chatting about a show together. I did not prepare things.
All right. So, this is the stats are for everyone. She said, I watched the last episode, but have to send this in before listening to the podcast about 716 as my daughter and I are heading off on vacation. So hopefully they had a great vacation. So here's the season's stats are really awesome report, or stats are for everyone, excluding podcast 716. The outlandish theory accuracy. Blake, your accuracy dipped a bit this season.
Oh, no.
But I am still rocking an impressive 73.7% accuracy.
C-. No, it's a C. It's a C.
You kept us entertained with 50 outlandish theories this season. 50! The idea was I was going to give you one per episode, and I gave you 50! Holy smokes. Bringing your grand total to 272 outlandish theories.
Holy.
We are eagerly awaiting to see if 8 of those theories, 4 from the previous seasons, will come true. According to your kilt ratings, and she put a little copyright C next to it, this is both of yours second favorite season behind season 5, with an average rating for Mary of 4.89 and 4.65 for Blake. Mary gave 8 episodes a 5 rating, but no 5+.
True.
That's interesting. At least according to my ratings, that's my second favorite.
Yeah.
But that's interesting.
I know.
I think on the whole, I would probably put season 1 ahead of this season.
Okay.
Like if I had to go back and like redo it.
I always say I love season 1. I mean, season 1's just so awesome.
Yeah. I love season 5. That's 100% accurate. I loved season 5.
Mm.
And it's funny because like the first half of season 3 was terrific. But the back half of season 3 was, I mean, like
coconuts.
It was it was coconuts. And yeah.
Not great, Bob.
But the back half of season 2 was excellent. But the front half of season 2,
not great, Bob.
So like, I don't know, it's kind of funny, but so interesting. She said that she also wants to share some more fun and interesting stats that she thinks that it will apply. Mary's kilt ratings, season 7 average was 4.89. The overall average was 4.81 with a max of 5+ and a minimum of 4. Perfect 5s this season was 8 episodes. Blake's kilt ratings for season 7 average was 4.65, and the overall average is a 4.47 with a max of 5 and a minimum of 1. I could tell you that was probably the search. I hated that episode so much. The highest rating this season for Blake was a 4.86 for 2 episodes. Thanks for your great podcast. I thoroughly enjoy listening and feel like I'm just talking to friends. And yes, I do talk back during the show.
Yes.
For your information, I've attached a PDF full of pretty graphs to better see and enjoy your stats. See you next season.
Thank you so much. I love this.
By the way, she does have a pretty PDF. And I think I'll put it in the show notes.
You can email it too.
I can do whatever, but
do
like
everything.
It's there, and it's actually really nice. So I love reading that stuff. And I got to tell you, it's my favorite email of the year. Every time, like the stats are for everyone email. Julie, keep them coming. All right, here we go. Let's get to the next voicemail. If my computer will let me. It's doing that thing that it always does. So here we go.
Hi, Mary and Blake. My name is Terry, and I'll let you guess where I'm from at
Terry.
the end. I only just discovered your podcast at episode 750.
I'm already going to say it. She's from the Midwest. I'm going to go Chicago.
Interesting.
There we go. Chicago or like Cleveland. It's in that area.
Okay.
But
Interesting.
I'm going to go with Chicago.
15, and you guys are hilarious. I love all the wacky side stories. I'm especially loving the New England accent. When Blake said "pack the car," I literally laughed out loud. It was perfect. For episode 716, I really loved the scenes with the Mackenzies, especially Brianna and her grandfather. It had all the feels. It was just so emotional trying to make that connection. But let's talk about the elephant in the room and Faith.
Yep.
At first, I thought they were just trying to misdirect us and it would just be a nothing. But I think what they might do, here's my theory,
all right,
is tie this into Blood of My Blood and Claire's mother. Maybe Claire's mother survived the car accident and went through a time portal. Maybe she was pregnant. So that Fanny would be Claire's grandniece, not her granddaughter. I don't know. It's possible. We'll see episode 8. But for now, keep up the good work. You definitely have a new fan in me. And
all right, your take.
Where did you say?
I said Chicago.
Okay. I think she's from west of Colorado. I'd say Colorado, maybe Oregon, Washington, California. She's in that I'd say Colorado or California. That's where I'm going.
All right, Terry. Well, first of all, thank you. I'm so glad that we have a new listener, and welcome to the Nerd Clan, our crazy, totally non-well-adjusted, dysfunctional family. And I'm happy that you're here. We get to play this game with you. All right, Terry. Let's hear what you got.
This is Terry, and I'm from drumroll, New Jersey.
No, Terry.
Stop it, New Jersey.
Terry, you don't sound like you're from New Jersey.
Oh, no way. Terry, I am shocked at that.
She's so classy sounding.
Definitely not New Jersey.
Oh, my God. And I say that with all love because we have thick accents. New Jersey people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, and we have
New Jersey people. Did that sound like Jersey to you?
No chance. There's zero Jersey in there.
Terry was either on her best accent behavior.
Do you think
she's got some explaining to do? Maybe her parents aren't from Jersey.
Yeah, maybe her parents teach at Princeton, and they're like, yeah, you're not gonna have a New Jersey accent too.
She can't be a lifelong family, born and raised forever Jersey. I can't believe that, Terry.
Maybe her parents are from Pennsylvania or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they moved to New Jersey.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Terry.
Like her dad got a job at the docks. Maybe he knows Bruce Springsteen.
Maybe. Terry from New Jersey. Would have never guessed it.
I love coming up with these stories for people just out of nowhere. Here we go.
Hey guys, my name is Madeline. It's
Hey,
my
Madeline.
first time calling after many years of lurking and listening and enjoying the pod.
Lurking. I love that. We have
I'm going to wait till the end to tell you where I'm from, but I'm just going to jump.
Okay, what are we going to say, Mary?
I just love that Terry, she's brand new. She found us last week, I feel like. And then Madeline's been a lurker, but both are first time callers.
Yes.
Super cool.
It's very nice. I'm not going to lie.
Right in and say this episode is a 2.3 kilts for me. Not my favorite.
Madeline's bringing the heat.
Madeline's from the Northeast, I bet. She's,
Guaranteed.
you know what? She's got that screw you.
Yeah, it's a 2.3.
Yeah,
I could have done a 2.5. I could have done a 2.5. But you know what? Screw.
Wherever Madeline's from, she's dealt with some cold ass winters, okay? This girl, she's got a bite to her.
Dealt with cold ass winters.
Oh, you know the kind where you're like, I should have brought a scarf. What the heck?
A scarf?
You know the painful winters where you're like, what the hell?
I don't think I've ever said in my life, I should have brought a scarf.
It's never gone through your mind where you're like, my face friggin' hurts. This sucks. No, even when you were up in school in New Hampshire and you had ice flying at your face with 50 mile an hour winds, you never were like, I could use a scarf.
I could definitely say that was awful.
Yeah.
And yes, it sucked especially in that wind tunnel.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
However, you know what it is, Mary? Not a big scarf guy.
Okay, fine.
I'm not going to say that I'm out on scarves because I'm not out on scarves.
Let's listen to Madeline.
All right.
I feel like she's had some cold days in her life.
Madeline, she's bringing some heat and a 2-3. I can't wait to hear this, Madeline.
Lots of things I hated, few things I loved. My good was David Barry. He just continues to carry this season on his back.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Lord John Gray's scenes with William and with Jamie and Claire. So good. My bad, and it's a doozy. I mean, Faith, pardon my language, but what in the cinnamon toast fuck was that? That was just bad.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's the thing. Yeah. She knows what she's like. It almost came out, but then she was like, "Oh wait, I gotta be normal. I can't just
say the F word.
Just say it. I
need
gotta be
to
like, hey, hold
add a
on.
little sweetness to it.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, but this is coming." So, like, she like caught herself there. What in the cinnamon toast? That was good.
Love it.
You can't. She has to be from the Northeast. Like, there's no way you start dropping cinnamon toast fucks around without knowing that you're from the Northeast.
Continue.
All right, here we go.
I think if they were going to go in this direction, I wish they would have kind of breadcrumbed it a little bit, given us some nuggets to snack on and let us kind of draw our own conclusions and make predictions. But instead, they really just hit us over the head with it like a dead fish.
Yep.
My great was William and Jamie's storyline together. It's been a favorite of mine from the books, and I thought the actors just beautifully brought it to life, and I loved the tenderness of that scene between them.
Okay, pause.
So anyway,
pause. Wait a second.
All right.
You go.
What?
She says all of her R's. I love all the actors and the tenderness.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is possible to be from the Northeast and not have an obnoxious accent like me. It's possible. There are people that
I'll
are out
say Connecticut.
there.
I'm going to say it. She has R's. She's not from the ocean side of New England. She's not.
They got ocean in Connecticut, Marvin.
Yeah, but she's inward. She would not have an R in her words if she was by the coast.
Gotcha. Maybe she's like a Springfield, Massachusetts.
That's what I'm talking about.
Like a Worcester.
Yeah. So she gets more snow. She's in like the snow belt where she gets her sassiness, but she has all of her R's.
That's the cinnamon toast fuck.
She doesn't have,
action.
yeah, but she doesn't have like the fisherman's grit.
Yeah.
You know, I got the lobsters. I had to fight off a great white. You know, she doesn't have any of that going on.
No, she's like snow belt, Worcester.
She doesn't deal with New Yorker traffic. She doesn't deal with Manhattan. So she's not near the Atlantic Ocean, but she's still New England.
She's bitter enough to be New England.
Or, you know what? Maybe like northern New York, like Ithaca.
Oh, like a Buffalo?
Because I call that still New England. That's like New England adjacent.
Yeah, you know what?
Right?
I'll give you that take. It's New England adjacent.
Yeah, I don't think she's New Hampshire.
I don't see New Hampshire in there.
She could be Maine.
I could do a Maine. She's not like northern Maine.
No, and she's not coastal Maine.
No.
I'm thinking Connecticut.
Like might as well be New Hampshire, Maine.
Maybe Vermont.
Yeah.
She's a little nice. She's not nice for Vermont.
She's not nice enough for Vermont.
She's not.
No.
She wouldn't be like that.
Everyone from Vermont is very nice.
Yeah.
That's like the nice cousin that you have in your family. You're like, oh man, I wish
she
I could
wouldn't
hang out with that guy
toast,
more.
Fuck it. No, she wouldn't.
No.
All right. So Maine, Connecticut, northern New York.
I'm gonna go Western Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah. I will
We're
go
Western
along with
New
that
England.
take. I'll go along with that take, Mary. And I'm gonna say like I'm gonna go real specific.
Go for it.
Gardner, Massachusetts.
Love it.
One of my favorite episodes, but I just don't really see a way that they will take this forward that I'll be happy with, but you never know, they might surprise me. Anyway, I hope you guys guessed Midwest because I am from Chicagoland.
Get
Love you so
outta
much.
here.
Bye.
No.
Stop it.
No,
You're
Madeline.
from Chicago.
Chicago, Chicago's tricky.
Chicago is tricky.
I don't hear the typical Midwest in Madeline whatsoever.
No, I mean, like Chicago, it's got its own thing. Like it has its own accent, and it probably has its own little bit of bitterness as well.
I mean, it gets very cold in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, their teams haven't won a championship in God knows how long.
I can see her cussing Chicago. I can see that. Wow. Note to self. I learned something new.
I know. I never would have guessed that. All right, Marvin. So from Madeline in Chicago, of all places, to now Melinda.
Hello. Is it our Melinda?
That's our Melinda. Here we go.
Hi, Mary and Blake. It's Melinda from Edinburgh.
Hey,
Sorry
Melinda.
I haven't called in this season, but I thought for the final I would.
Sure.
Thank you so much for keeping up all of our smiles and laughters and conversations around Outlander. My kilt rating for the season is 4.5. My good was everything in the 1739 period, the season.
Mm-hmm.
My bad was timelines, 2 weeks, 4 months. How long does it take to sail? The weather. You don't have leaves in April. Get a leaf blower and fix some of those scenes. And things like the doll does not go through the stone, so how can it make it
Fair
into
point.
1739?
Fair point.
My great was everything with Lord John Grey. Plus, Ian and Jamie had some of the most deep dialogue conversations. Thought it was absolutely amazing. So all in all, I think it was a good season. The whole faith thing, who the hell knows what's the next step on that. But one thing I do want to tell you, Blood of My Blood's coming up.
Yeah.
And I happen to be a film extra in it.
Really?
So, not that I can tell all of the secrets, but I certainly
outta
can
here.
be interesting.
I love it,
Looking forward to hearing
Melinda.
you soon.
I am so excited
care.
for you. Oh my God. I mean, not even, yes, excited,
Yes.
but like, oh, wow. That's so freaking cool, Melinda.
That is awesome. I never would have thought that. Melinda, we're going to need to schedule you for a time on the podcast when Blood of My
Yes.
Blood comes out, just to get that perspective.
Talk about your experience.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know, sure.
So cool, Melinda. Well, congrats.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's get to the next one.
Hi, Mary and Blake. It's
Hello.
Marcia from Columbus, home of the National Championship Buckeyes.
Go Bucks!
Hey, so for the finale of Outlander Season 7, I'm giving it a 4.5. I thought it was good. I really enjoyed it. It was a little lackluster, especially at the end for me. So my good and my bad has to do with the faith storyline. So the good was the surprise. I think that we were all just so taken aback, and it was just really great because that very rarely happens. Usually it's, there's a little bit of a predictability about it.
Sure.
But my bad, oh my gosh, I haven't yelled at the radio as much as I did when I had to listen to Blake's rant about the faith storyline and it being the faith show. I mean, number one, I think, Blake, you should be limited to rants for 90 seconds like we are.
No.
So I'm just saying. But I don't think it's going to be the faith show. It has too much else to cover in this final season. There will be a reveal, but I think in Tony we trust. So
Love it.
Jesus H. Roosevelt, Christ Blake, just get over it. Let's move on. So, but my great was the pee scene. I can't help it. Bathroom humor just gets it for me. So happy Droughtlander. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Marvin, 90 seconds.
I would love that for my life with you. If you go on a rant outside of a podcast. Like, in general, Blake Larson rants can't go more than 90 seconds.
I don't rant that often in our personal life. I don't rant. I have some issues here and there, but I don't rant. However, big however, 90 seconds on the podcast, that's not too unreasonable.
No, it's not.
We do limit all of you to 90 seconds. But here's the beautiful thing about Outlandercast.
What?
We own the show, so we get to do whatever the hell we want.
Well, maybe we can start. Maybe we can find like 90 seconds worth of beautiful Outlander music. And when I feel like you're starting to go on a little much, I could put on that music, kind of like what they do at award ceremonies, where it's like
that.
you start the music and that's your hint of like you're going a little long and you better start wrapping up your thoughts.
Yes. Okay. You know what? I think that's fair. I think
But I have the power.
Yes. Okay. I like that idea. I can do that. We can totally do that. Nice. Yeah, we can definitely do that.
And then in my real life, I'll just start singing it when you're like, Mary, this is why we need to do XYZ to the studio. And I'm like, I don't think so. And then you're like, let me talk forever about why. I can just start singing the same song.
We have to figure out what the song's going to be, though.
Yeah.
We have to figure that out. Because I don't want it to be something like lame. It's got to be something funny.
Yeah, but in my mind, I'll just call it the Shut Up Blake song.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Shut up and shut your mouth, Blake.
I kind of like this idea now, just for the fun of it. All right, here we go. Just for the fun of it. Screw it. Why not, man?
Hello, it's Kim from Connecticut.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim. First of all, I am sorry. Just going to throw that out there.
Long-time listener. Found you guys sometime in season 4, I think. I've called in a couple of times, mostly just to needle Blake about the fact that he judges the whole of Connecticut based on the 95 corridor.
Yep, that's how it goes.
I do look so forward to new episodes of this podcast, almost as much as new episodes of the show itself.
Yep.
And I got to tell you guys, I'm going to be really, really sad when it's all over after season 8. Okay, so season 7 finale. All I have to say is actually a question that can be summed up in 3 words.
Okay.
Jump the shark.
Oh.
Or to interpret for Blake, jump the shock.
Oh, there you go, girl.
I think we'll probably have to see what season 8 brings to find out. That's all.
Well done,
Well, Kim, despite the fact that you're from Connecticut and, your state is, it is what it is.
Our kid's in their state right now.
Is he really? Or is she? Or which one?
He's a Mystic Aquarium.
Oh.
He's in Connecticut. There's really
I do
nice
like
areas.
Mystic. I will say that I like Mystic.
You do. That's why I'm saying there's a lot in the Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
Takes place in Connecticut.
It supposedly was based off of a place in Connecticut.
Based off of several places in Western Connecticut.
But you know what?
So
One of the
precious.
places was Westerly, Rhode Island. So that is what it is.
Which you have to get to from a Connecticut exit.
I don't know. And Mystic is so close to Rhode Island, it might as well be Rhode Island.
No.
I do like Mystic.
Okay.
Especially Mystic Pizza. Jump the Shock, Mary.
The pizza's actually not that good.
But it's Julia Roberts.
I know.
So you have to go along
I'm just
to get
saying
along.
the pizza at Mystic Pizza isn't good.
No, what's that place in Connecticut that we go where I broke my tooth? Remember that?
Yes.
I broke my
bread.
on freaking focaccia
Isn't
bread.
it like Ford's Lobster Trap
Yes,
or something?
Ford's Lobster. That's where we were. I was eating freaking focaccia bread.
Because a stranger told us to eat it.
I know.
And I said, okay.
And I was like, and she gave us her bread.
I make friends everywhere I go.
Her freaking bread.
You guys got to try this focaccia. It's so good. Okay. Okay, we will.
Oh, my God. Yeah, sure. No problem. Thanks.
It's not the bread's fault. It's your poor oral hygiene.
No. It actually wasn't poor oral hygiene.
You have poor oral hygiene, I think.
No. Wait, hold on. Time out.
You're afraid of the dentist.
It was, yes, I'm very afraid of the dentist.
Probably missed out on a lot of fluoride treatments or something.
No, it was a crown that I had that was a defective crown. And it was, and it cracked right in half. I was chewed on focaccia bread, and all of a sudden, I just felt like this this hard piece of plastic. Like, where the hell did that come from? And I sat there eating the rest of my meal with a half a tooth.
As I was texting her dentist.
I know. Like, what do we do? Do we put it in milk?
He's my godfather. My husband just broke his tooth on bread.
Do we put it in
We're
milk?
in Connecticut. What do we do? I'm really here for the lobster bisque.
Oh man! Oh, that was good. That was a good time. All right.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Jillian from Ohio with
Hi,
my
Jillian.
thoughts as of the finale. Okay, so I know I was a little grumpy last week,
That's
but
okay.
the finale did fulfill my hopes, and I think I'm rating it a 4.5.
Okay.
I think I figured out why 715 got to me so much, though. Claire and Jamie's codependency. I know in any epic romance story, the main couple will more likely than not be codependent, but 715 really made me realize all the instances of it this season 7B. i.e. Claire's suicide attempt, i.e. everything Jamie at the end of 7:15. You'd think for two people that knowingly live in a dangerous time, they'd have a backup plan for their partner not dying of old age.
You'd think.
But whatever. As someone who has experienced the very real negative consequences of being in a codependent relationship, I find I can't support it anymore in my entertainment.
Wow.
So although Brianna and Roger's relationship hasn't been as well developed, I look forward to seeing them on screen because you can tell that although they'd be devastated if anything happened to the other, they are not defined by each other and are their own people outside their relationship. I started watching Outlander for the epic romance, but now I find myself watching for the epic adventure and mystery, which is why I liked the controversial faith twist at the end, because there's so many possibilities, and it got me asking myself a lot of questions. Hopefully, it doesn't get biffed like the Rob Cameron storyline. Thanks, you guys, for everything you do and for creating this space for all of us Outlander nerds. Bye, Smanja.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Jillian, I will say that
I know what you're going to say.
I will say that codependency sucks. And I can say that because, well, I've suffered from some codependent relationships. And I think Mary might say that I am a little codependent.
Not a little, Blake.
Just a little bit.
Gotta get a hobby, man.
I got hobbies.
Podcasting at Mary and Blake Media.
Yeah.
Is it
Yes.
codependent hobby?
I ride motorcycles.
Wait, when's the last time?
In the summer. Last summer.
And then you'll say, oh, I only want to go if I can go with you, Mary.
Oh, no. I don't say that. I say that I do want to go with you, and I want that more often.
You're working on it. You're working on being less codependent.
Yes, I will agree. The thing is, Mary, I don't know.
If I die at sea,
oh,
you're not gonna pull a Claire, or would you?
What do you mean?
She lost it, man, and then she banged Lord John Grey.
I would lose it. I would lose it. I would.
Yes,
melt.
Yes, you'd be very sad, but would you be Claire level sad of let's go bang Lord John Grey?
I wouldn't be like go bang Lord John Grey. But if there was one man that it would have to suffice, it would be Lord John Grey. I'll throw that out there. No, I mean I would lose it. I would melt. It would be very difficult for me. It would be very difficult.
I mean, it'd be sad for me too. I'm not saying I wouldn't be sad.
Yeah,
but I'm
right.
saying I wouldn't be Lord
throwing a party.
No, I would not.
Hey, where's the fireworks?
Stop it. No, you're so terrible. No.
Hey, is that his coffin over there? Yeah. Just put it in the
Stop
put it in the
it.
corner. Put it. Yeah. No. We're gonna burn it anyway. It's fine.
You're the worst, Blake.
Hey,
Just saying,
where's Trader Joe's guy?
Sometimes
Come on,
absent
let's
makes
go
the
dancing.
heart grow fonder.
Let's go dancing.
It's not bad to get a hobby.
Freaking Trader Joe's guy. Gonna ride my motorcycle nonstop this summer.
Good. That is great. I'm actually really excited for you.
All right, let's get to the next one. Thank you, Jillian, for bringing this up. Appreciate it.
He's working on it.
Banned from the podcast from now on. The circle of trust, you've been removed.
Hey, Mary and Blake. This is Hillary. I'm a longtime listener of about 5 years, but I'm a first-time caller.
Oh my God.
I'm going to give this a rating of 5+ kilts. I think it's one of the best episodes of television. While it may take the entire 7 seasons.
All right, Hillary.
Yay, Hillary.
Hillary. 5+.
She found something that made her so happy.
Okay. All right.
Don't yuck her yum.
I'll go along to get along.
Yeah.
Just calling out the.
I love when people get their 5+s because that means so much happiness and joy.
Okay, here we go, Hillary. Take the floor.
Seasons of Outlander to get to the payoff at the end of the episode. I think that's absolutely what makes it worth it. My good is Jamie's response to Ian coming home. He's been so concerned with Claire's near death that he completely seems to have forgotten that he has a son, nephew, and frenemy in John Grey that may be dead. So seeing Ian come back, that all comes back to him, and his concern for everybody is there and real, but it pales in comparison to that which he has for Claire. My great, I'm going to do a little bit out of order. My great was the ending with the slow revelation of Fanny singing the song from the 1900s that her mother sang to her, which, by the way, Master Raymond had to have taught Faith that because Claire wasn't there after a few minutes. So I would love to see the backstory between Master Raymond and possibly raising Faith. But here the show so brilliantly references its own history. We don't need to see Claire singing it to Faith, but perhaps casual viewers do. I'm going to start over if that's okay.
Oh.
Okay. All right. You know what?
It's the finale.
I'm breaking all the rules.
Yeah.
Screw it. Here we go.
Hey, Mary and Blake, this is Hillary again.
Hi.
I forget where I left off, but something to the effect of the fantastic ending that was my great, giving me a gasping sob with the revelation that Claire is Fanny's grandmother.
Yes.
This revelation brings me to the good, which is William and Jane had some Game of Thrones level Khaleesi, Jon Snow type rumpy pumpy without even knowing. Which poor William, if he ever finds out, the poor guy will just implode if he learns that he rumpy pumped his own niece. Finally,
Hold on, time out. We have established that rumpy pumpy is a thing, clearly.
Yeah.
But I didn't know there was an active verb for that.
A past tense
or
verb.
past tense that someone could be rumpy pumped.
Loved it. Love it. He rumpty pumped.
No, he didn't rumpty pump. He rumpy pumped.
I keep hearing Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah, all the king's horses and all the king's men.
I used to do a warm up in theater, and it was to Humpty Dumpty.
Get out of here.
D hump, 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 D hump, D hump, D hump, D hump, and then you do like a nursery rhyme. Hump, D hump, 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 D hump, D hump, B A D C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V. Oh, I forget what he would do. Like, ain't so funky now. That's it. That's it. And then we'd go back to hump, D hump, 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 D hump, D hump, D hump, D hump. And you have to like quickly rap it.
Oh my God.
Rumpy pump, rumpy pumpy pumpy.
He's such a dork. People in band and theater, you guys are all out to lunch.
And yet you watch and consume everything we do.
I do.
That's one of my favorite things is like when people like hate on nerds and yet they spend so much time going to movies, watching shows, listening to music. And I'm like, they're all freaking nerds.
That's true.
Like all these people who are obsessed with Timothy Chalamet. And yet they'll be like, oh, that boy's in theater. That boy's in chorus. What do you freaking think that guy did?
You basic.
Honestly, get over yourself.
Rumpy pumped. He rumpy pumped Jane. That's great.
outlandish theory. ChatGPT checked it for spoilers.
Okay.
But here it is. Faith didn't die, not just the first time in infancy, but neither did she die when Jane and Fanny seemed to think so.
All right.
Just like Roger's dad, she mistakenly traveled to another time because of the general 200-year travel thing. I'm guessing it's going to be Faith goes to the 1970s or 80s when Bree and Roger were there. But Faith was in the U.S., and Outlander is as Outlander does, so she'll probably be pulled into something with Joe Abernathy in some way. Don't know if you guys did this with my call or not, but I'm from Indiana originally, and I have been living in Florida for about the last 5 years, just prior to the panorama.
Oh,
Thanks,
okay.
guys.
Wow. Well, Marvin, what do you think about Joe Abernathy?
Why not? You know, let's just make this a family affair.
Might as well, right? Like, holy smokes. I don't know. That is a
Why not? It's better than aliens.
It's better than aliens.
Dinosaurs.
Could be aliens. I doubt it. Hopefully not.
No thanks.
This is the opposite of the leftovers, Mary.
Yeah.
This is when Mary's sudden theory of the week. Every
Always
single
aliens.
one was aliens.
Where do we think everyone went? Abducted by aliens.
Aliens.
Like if I knew Bree, say I was in school, if I was in uni with Bree, but she was, you know.
Wait, would she call it uni?
No, she wouldn't.
No, she wouldn't call it
wouldn't.
uni.
I mean, maybe the writers would have accidentally done it. But if she was in college,
yep,
and I was in college with Bree in Boston, that's what I'd be telling her classmates. Where'd that girl Bree go? I know where she went.
She went with the aliens.
She got abducted by aliens. Just like her mother.
Just like her mother.
That's what I'd be doing.
Just like her mother. Oh my God. That is so great. Oh man, that is so awesome. Mary. You could totally tell you from doing, yeah, just like her mother. That woman, that lady. Never trusted that lady.
I love to bust people. Like there was this kid at my school and he was on the basketball team and he was just, I overheard him telling his friends.
I'm on Burgundy.
Oops, sorry.
He said,
I hit the button by accident.
I noticed. I'm like, I didn't say anything wrong. He was walking in front of me with his friends and he was saying how basketball season's over and he's a senior and he's thinking he's just going to like hold on to his basketball jersey. He's like, what are they going to do? I'm going to graduate. And I just lied. I went, you want to know what they're going to do? They're not going to give you your diploma. And he turned around and he's like, what? And I was like, yeah, you have something of theirs. They've got something of yours. They don't let you graduate. I don't know. This is my first year teaching at this school. I don't know what they do. They probably just sent his parents a bill or something. Yeah. I have no idea. But at my university, my college, that's what they did. If you had something of theirs, they would not give you your diploma.
Really?
If you like stole their furniture, if you did something, they would not let you graduate. Well, so I just made it up to this kid. I was like, you know what's going to happen? You don't graduate just because of over a shirt. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, you better hand that in.
Wow.
I don't even know this kid, but I just scared the living bejesus out of him.
Not going to get your diploma, kid.
Yeah.
Just like your mother. Oh, that's funny. All right, here we go.
Hi, Mary. Hi, Blake. This is Tanya, your cousin
Tanya.
from Boston that now lives in the Carolinas.
All right, Tanya.
And I have been trying to articulate my feelings about this episode without being an asshole about it.
Oh,
Okay.
Here goes.
See, Tanya's better. She doesn't even have to apologize for just saying it because she just knows I don't want to do this.
But because she's moved down south,
Yes.
she's taken time to compose herself.
Yes.
She's like, oh God.
She's done some
not everybody
self-reflection.
speaks their mind right away. I've had a little sweet tea.
Yes.
I've had a little lemonade.
As we know, sweet tea is different than sun tea.
And yes, because she's in South Carolina. So
Yes.
she's having some sweet tea and some lemonade. And I'm going to sit with this a moment.
Yep. We're gonna do some yoga, maybe.
Let's see if Tanya lets her New England come out. Though.
All right, here we go.
This back half has made me feel like I'm in traffic. I'm speeding up, I'm braking, I'm slowing down, I'm cruising.
Yep.
It's been fun. I especially love this episode checking in on all our family. Ian and Rachel being pregnant, Bree and Roger and the kids reuniting, Jamie and Claire being the couple we love. Then I slammed on my brakes and got rear-ended. This ending felt really cheap to me.
Oh, it wasn't
and
the
even
good
worse,
kind of
it felt
rear-ended.
beneath.
I don't know. Some people are into that.
That's what she said.
I'm not gonna yuck anybody's yum.
No, I'm not. That's why I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Some people like the faith. Some people don't. Some people like rear-ended. Some people don't. Just see where Tanya was going with it. But now that she's in the South, we don't talk like that. So she means rear-ended in the bad way. Not doggy. Continue.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Mary. Oh man. Here we go.
This brilliant team of writers and actors. This cliffhanger from nowhere just lessens the impact of Faith's death and the impact it had on our characters.
Mm-hmm.
Then it goes on to marginalize the pure love and caring Claire and Jamie would have for any child in need. But then I had to sit back and figure out exactly what it is that bothered me. And it's the fact that I'm not looking forward to the final season of a show that I loved.
Yes.
I feel like we've been served Routledge and fodder to chew on while we wait. Now I'm gonna watch, and hopefully I'll be proven wrong. I look forward to being wrong, but I just want to say I'm not mad. It's just disappointed. Take care.
See, she stopped. She ended it with a nice South Carolina feel. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. It's okay. I'm just, But here's the thing, Mary.
Yeah.
I think it's a valid point that Tanya says, where it's like, I'm not looking forward to the next season. Now, I'm not saying that I feel that way.
Oh, I took it as she's not looking forward to this ending. I took that as what she means.
Oh. Let's go back. I got to hear it.
Wait. Back that I'm not looking forward to the final season of a show that I loved.
Not looking forward to the final season. Do you think that the ending is enough for someone? Well, I mean, that's enough for Tanya, obviously, but like, is that a reasonable expectation for some people to be like, yeah, that kind of messed me up so much that I don't even really care anymore. Like it upset me because they just totally outdid or didn't validate what happened in season 2, let's just say.
What is your exact question?
Is it reasonable for someone to be like, yeah, I don't like, is it fair to be like...
I think everyone's feelings are fair and valid. I think everyone is entitled to their feelings. I'm of the point, let's have some faith and let's see where this goes.
Okay. All right.
This is Cecilia from Arkansas.
Hi, Cecilia.
And I'm wanting to give my feedback about the finale. I loved that they used so much of the exact dialogue from the books and lots of Easter eggs. This was just so full of everything. They did a wonderful job with the casting of Jamie's father, Brian, and his talk with Brianna just made me so satisfied with what they said. Okay, I give it 5 kilts, of course. All the times that people asked for forgiveness and felt guilty until they apologized or thanked somebody, that was really cool. And I also like that Gabaldon always uses so many biblical references. And I just love blood of my blood and all these different things. My good is... all the relationships are shown and so much love is there. And I thought Jamie wanted to embrace his son when they were talking. And he told him about how he was conceived, but Jamie knew he couldn't hug him, but he would be rebuffed. My bad was...
It's okay. Cecilia called back in.
Okay, good.
We got another one from Cecilia. Here we go.
I have to go again.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
That's okay.
But anyway, I'm not worried about the faith thing. That was my bad. But I still think it'll all work out. And my great was that it was such a great transition from Claire saying that Master Raymond said they would all be together again, see each other again someday. And then immediately Roger sees Jeremiah and then Bree and Mandy, and they're all together again at the end.
Oh, Cecilia.
See, she's from the South.
That is South.
That is sweet.
That is some sweet tea.
Yes.
I think sweet tea is in her veins.
Yes.
So like I said before, Cecilia, you call back anytime that you want. You just come talk to us about whatever. My day is already better because I got a chance to hear from you.
I just love hearing how people talk different.
Sure.
Oh,
or how they speak differently.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, Mary and Blake. This is Leah.
Hi, Leah.
Good luck trying to guess where I'm calling from.
Oh, goodness.
Blake, I'm with you 100% on the faith thing. I am not a book reader, so my perspective is the same as yours. From the very first episode, they've promised us a magical realism story.
Yes.
And for 6.5 seasons, we had a magical realism story. Something with a few fantastical elements, but is otherwise realistic. Up until recently, the only fantastical or magical element in this story has been time travel and one quick glimpse of Jamie's ghost or whatever it was.
Yes.
That's it. Now, suddenly, we've got telepathic kids, Claire is having visions, and Faith isn't dead? WTF. It's crossing the line from magical realism into fantasy, and it feels like a potentially broken promise. I hope I'm wrong. I will watch season 8 the second it comes out, hoping I'm wrong. But it's going to be pretty difficult to go back to magical realism without ignoring or undermining the fantasy elements that have now been introduced. Before I tell you where I'm calling from, I'll tell you that I was born in Hawaii and lived there until my 20s. Then I lived in various places, including the Scottish Highlands, before moving here more than 20 years ago.
All right. Leah has lived a life, man. She went from Hawaii to the Scottish Highlands to wherever she is now. Just based on the other 2 spots, I'm sure it's somewhere like fabulous. Like she lives in Paris. Or she like lives in Monaco. Like it's what? Nice job, Leah. All right, let's see where she lives. Here we go. You got a guess, Mary? I already gave you 2. How about you?
Oh, you honestly think she lives somewhere fabulous?
I think she lives somewhere fabulous.
Okay.
I'm going Monaco.
Okay, great.
What do you
love
got?
That for you. I'll do the opposite. I bet you she's in like boring
Detroit.
bumpkin town now. Her accent, there's no way you could tell from her accent.
No, there's just no chance.
Okay, let's see where she lives.
Okay, here we go.
And here is Northwest Washington State.
Oh.
Sounds like Mary was pretty right.
No, I think that's pretty cool. That's Twilight Country,
That
man.
is Twilight Country. I'll give you that.
Say it out loud.
Say it out loud.
Yeah, she's friggin' hanging with vampires. She went from Hawaii
To
and
the
then
Highlands.
she got bit. Well, she got bit, man.
Yeah.
She's like, all right.
She doesn't want to sparkle.
No, you could sparkle a lot in Hawaii.
Too much sparkling.
Not too much sparkling in Scotland, but
Nope.
sometimes you can.
Yep.
It's cloudy there a lot.
And then she was like, you know what? My people are in Northwestern Washington.
Why not?
That's where I got to go. I'm going to go see Edward.
Love it.
Do you think she was Team Edward or Team Jacob?
I'd say Jacob.
Freaking Jacob. Such a whiny little character. Always
He's
whining
not.
about one thing or another.
Blake, the amount of whining that you do.
Fair.
You always complain about whining characters, and they've got a lot going on in their lives. Like you hate Frodo.
Oh, Frodo is the worst.
You hate Jacob.
Frodo is the worst.
You're not simple.
Oh. All he does is stare at the freaking ring, and he falls, and
Being like possessed by it, and he has the weight of the world on his shoulders.
Goodness gracious, freaking Frodo.
Very important job.
It's the worst. You know what, Leah? I actually think you have a really reasonable take here. It's not like I'm gonna watch season 8. Like it's gonna happen. I do look forward to it, though. I hope that I'm wrong. And Leah's premise, Mary, is 100% logical. You cannot start a show with a particular promise of its rules and of its content, and then decide toward the end, be like, yeah, it is magic realism, but now we're going to get into fantasy. And I know there's some of you nerds out there that are like, well, it's a show about time travel. Yes, it is.
Just going to say that.
But within that construct, you have set up a series of expectations and promises to your viewer. You've made a promise that the time travel is the fantastical element.
Yeah.
Not weird mind reading Mandy. Not weird Faith who is dead or not dead, and he comes back and singing songs, and Claire having visions, and
No, but we've always had we had Ghost Jamie.
that's different.
Claire has like crazy, unexplainable memory and healing skills.
I think I fall more into Leah's frame here of, and I think this is just, I don't like to say that there are rules of writing, because I think if someone says there are rules of writing, then I don't think that they know writing, because I don't think that there are rules, but I think there are reasonable expectations, and you cannot set up an expectation and then base your relationship of that expectation on that expectation with your viewer, and then be like, yeah, no, we're doing something else entirely. I don't think that's I don't think that is taking a good enough advantage of the equity that you've built up.
Hi, Blake. My name's Claire. I'm calling from Australia.
Hi, Claire.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
All right.
I started listening to you guys in 2020 when I was commuting during COVID lockdowns and working in healthcare, and you brought a lot of light to my days. And you're still making me smile now, even though you make me look like a crazy lady on the train when I'm giggling to myself, laughing at all your and all the other hilarious stuff that you come up with. Thank you for all that you do. I'm calling to give feedback on the season 7 finale. I'd have to give it a 3.8 kilts.
Whoa!
My good would have to be Sam Hewen's face acting is just knocks it out of the park, Blake.
That's clear.
Especially when William told him, "I'll never call you my father." My bad is Faith. I feel so confused about the whole thing. I feel like what they're suggesting turns that whole relationship that William had with Jane really icky, and they put so much effort into making that really beautiful.
Yep.
I know the stats are for nerds, Blake, but I feel like then the timing just doesn't work, because how old would Faith have been to then have a daughter who's the age of Jane? It's very confusing. And my great would have to be David Berry. He was great in this episode. He's been great for the whole season. Love you guys. Love your work. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Bye.
Claire.
Have a great day.
Yeah, I knew I liked Claire from the beginning. Yeah, I knew that. Mary, make the math work for me with Jane and Faith. I don't know how you can do it. I just don't know. Unless it has to. The math ain't mathin'.
I mean,
just based on the math alone, there's no way that Faith can be Faith. It has to be fake Faith.
I don't know. Okay, you're hurting my head.
Fair.
That should be my feedback to Matt Roberts. You're hurting my head.
You're hurting my head, bro. Let's calm down.
Hello from the Highlands of Scotland. It's Kirsten Lang
Kirsten,
here,
I've missed
and I
you.
just wanted to leave a voice note to say I made an error with some feedback on the last episode of Outlander regarding Claire holding Faith. I was absolutely convinced on rewatching the episode that she hadn't held Faith, and this was a construct for driving the narrative forward in the plot. And after the two of you played my feedback and said, no, could you clarify that for us? I've gone back and looked at the episode, and sure enough, at 52 minutes in, Jamie and Claire are having a conversation, and she is recalling holding Faith. And then there's a whole scene where you see her doing that and singing to her, and Louise comes in to speak to Mother Hildegard to get Claire to let the baby go, because she'd been holding her since the morning, and this was late evening, and it's really heartbreaking. And I just missed that because somebody came to the door, playing life here, and I got distracted with something else, and then went back and realised, she was obviously just telling Jamie something. So my bad, my error.
It's all good,
Many
Kirsten.
apologies for that, guys. Much love from the Highlands.
Kirsten.
Isn't that so true, though? Like, sometimes you get interrupted, you get in the middle of an episode, and then something happens, you have to go to the bathroom, your kid interrupts you. That's happened to Blake and I countless times, where we would be in an episode and one of our kids gets up, because that's what they do. It's their favorite thing in life.
No. Their favorite thing in life is to come down into the studio when we are live in front of thousands of people.
And then they crawl.
They crawl.
They crawl to me, and I have to sign language to them. What do you want?
It happened so much earlier in this episode, even though we're not live, that I had to stop the recording and be like, guys, we are working. I love you very much. Is the house burning down?
It's been so much harder. We, of course, started this when our eldest was a baby.
Oh, yeah. Months old.
When our second was... No, well, we started...
we started podcasting when he was months old. And we started Outlander when he was just shy. No, he had just turned 1.
Yeah.
He had just turned 1.
But nonetheless, it's never been easy.
Oh, man. Guys, are there aliens? Are they trying to get into the house? No? Good. Go have some Cheerios. You're fine until we're done with the podcast.
Yep.
But you know what? This is why Kirsten is a Hall of Fame caller. She calls in, recognizes where she went wrong, takes responsibility, and says, done messed up. Hand up. I'm here. Messed it up. You guys were right. You know what, Kirsten? I appreciate that. In fact, I appreciate it so much. I'm giving you an outstanding. Giving you an outstanding because you know what? That's something that I would never do. There's no way I'd call back and be like...
Yeah, I'll attest to that.
I would be like, I would never call back and say that I was wrong. In fact, I'd call back the next day and double down on how I was right. Somehow, some way, I would make an argument that I was right. So good job. Good on you.
Hi, Mary and Blake. This is Michelle from San Francisco.
Hi, Michelle.
And I understand what you're talking about, how they're making everything look like a play, especially the scene where Ian gets married. But I interpret it a different way. I think that they just made it on the cheap because Ian's wedding in the book, and also Lord John Grey's brother Hal coming and staying with Claire, and all that part of the book was really funny and interesting. And then they just broke it down to a boring wedding for Ian, and it just didn't do it for me. Anyway, that's my opinion. Thank you.
No, that's okay. That's a totally reasonable opinion. You know, it's funny because like I remember in Game of Thrones, if you go back to the first season of Game of Thrones and the first like games that they had with King Robert and you know Jaime Lannister's there and he's like fighting all of the what the hell's the Stark men. It looks so cheap and it looks so bad like in comparison to later seasons. I feel like this is probably one of those kind of instances where it's just opposite, where I think things in season 1 and perhaps season 2, there was certainly a lot of money invested into the show. And then as seasons have gone on, probably due to declining viewership, there just isn't as much money. There isn't as much money to go around. So they have to do things a little bit differently. So that's just an interesting fact. Well, Marvin, that will do it for the remainder of our voicemails and all of the listener feedback that we've had as of yet for this episode. You got anything else that you'd like to talk about concerning this episode or season 7 as a whole?
No, not right now. I think for listener feedback episodes, I just react.
Yes, fair enough. And so that is that. We are now completed with this listener feedback. Do remember, ladies and gents, that we are covering Blood of My Blood whenever that seems to come out. I think the intended released window is the summer. I don't think we have a date yet, but I could be wrong, but I know that it is the summer. So we will be back. I know, Mary, that we've had some suggestions for doing like a season overall episode for season 7. Is that something that you'd be interested in doing, or do you want to just kind of let sleeping dogs lie?
Potentially. Our goal right now is to catch up on some Potterverse and get ready for Blood of My Blood.
Yep.
But there's always room. There's always room for some more Outlander in my life.
Yes. And also, listener, do know that there is an option for members at jointhenerdclan.com to leave video messages so that when we have our listener feedback episodes in the future, you'll be able to be up on the screen that is behind us. And you haven't seen it yet, at least as of the recording of this episode. But our studio, the renovation, is now complete. So I'm trying to cook up something special to have a release look at the studio, and by the time that Blood of My Blood comes around, you will eventually see it, and I think it looks pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, I put a lot of work into it, a lot of effort. It was hard work. It was hard work, but we got it. It looks good. I can't wait. So, anything else, Marvin? Before we go, nothing.
No,
anything else you want to mention and talk about? Whatever. I don't know. How's your day? What's your favorite movie?
Everything's great.
All right, awesome. All right, let's close this bad boy out.
Okay. As always, we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us for another amazing season of this beloved show, Outlander. Now, of course, Outlander is here, but never fear. Okay. Blake and I have a slew of podcasts about other shows that you can find at maryandblake.com. So if you are on the hunt, if you've never watched This Is Us, watch This Is Us and listen to our companion podcast.
Yep.
Check out The Leftovers. We did podcast about some of Gilmore Girls shows, some of Game of Thrones. We have our Harry Potter podcast. We have so many things.
The Last Kingdom.
Oh my God, The Last Kingdom. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Go into The Last Kingdom. There's a lot. There's a lot out there for you. So we do keep busy, and we want to make sure that if you've enjoyed listening to us, if this is the only podcast of ours you listen to, that maybe you check something else out.
Absolutely. Especially I really enjoyed The Last Kingdom. As a matter of fact, I think on one of the last episodes that we did for The Last Kingdom, I went so far as to say that I thought that The Last Kingdom was actually a better story than Game of Thrones, because I thought it was better told. So find out how we got there by going to maryandblake.com and checking that out. Also, of course, go to jointhenerdclan.com, where you get a chance to support this mom and pop shop, podcast shop, where we are not supported by any big media conglomerations or anything. It's all it's like PBS. It's supported by listeners like you. So please do help us keep the lights on. Please do help us keep these podcasts free and fun for your consumption at your leisure. So that is the best way to do that. And plus, you get a whole bunch of other perks and fun things that go on over there as well. And that's all. That's all I got.
All right, my friends, my name's Mary.
My name is Blake.
And you've been listening to Outlander Cast. Slanja.